Welcome, everyone, to Chirping Zebras, episode 24. Mark Riley alongside Gino Binder Jr., as always, coming to you from AOA Studios in Beverly. Best place to tape a podcast or an album or anything you want to tape. And want to thank our sponsor right off the top, the Referee's Crease.
Yes.
Your one-stop shop for all your refereeing needs. Definitely go check them out. And we had last week we talked about one of our videos going viral.
Yes.
Because we had Travis Jackson on, who had a video go viral, and our video went viral.
Yes.
We had Todd Angeli telling the story of getting yanked out of the bar.
Over what, 1 million views?
Total 1 million views. We had between the Facebook, the Twitter, and the Instagram
TikTok.
and the TikTok,
Yep.
1 million views and climbing. So.
Oh, yeah.
Very cool, and I'm not sure. We wanted a viral video, we got one, and it doesn't include you
Either
and me
one of us
doing anything stupid, or your father. So
Right.
that's good.
Well, I mean, I think the whole thing is, right, the guests. It's all about the guests, right?
Yeah.
You let them, ask them the right questions, lead them in, and, he's a great storyteller. And I was unreal just to meet him, and his story was incredible.
Yeah, and he's running for the Norfolk County Clerk of Courts. So if you're is it Norfolk?
I think, Norfolk.
Yeah, I think it's Norfolk County.
Is it Fork or Fuck?
No, maybe it's I might have that county wrong. But whatever county he's running for the clerk of court, you got to go vote for him.
Yes.
Todd Angeli, Essex County. I think it was Essex County Clerk of Courts. So vote for Todd Angeli, who happens to be the singer at the Garden.
And check out the podcast, too. That thing was awesome. I didn't know that he sang at Fenway prior to all this.
Yeah,
that
his
was
story
an
is
interesting fact. Yeah.
Yeah, he and of course Tony V and
Tony
Paul
V
Ned.
was
We actually just dropped a video about Tony V. There'll be one of Paul and the Dizzy. John Carter.
Yep.
The story about
Stealing the Zamboni.
And then putting his eye in Josh's beer.
That one that got a lot of legs. That really. Yeah.
So you got to check out episode 20. Well, check them all out. But 22 was our live one, and that went incredibly well. So
We got to do it again.
we will. We are planning on another live one for August.
And maybe we'll have our
In a
guests
couple
on
weeks.
tonight as maybe one of the comedians.
You know what? I think that'd be a great idea. We have a very cool guest tonight. He's a fellow comedian of mine, and not only just a colleague, but I consider him one of my best friends in the business. I've known him since I was actually on the show. The first show he did, I was on that show. And his road to comedy is pretty interesting. And also, he's a crazy sports nut. And we are so happy to have him on. Was on EEI on the big show at Glen Ordway back in the day. Greg Murphy.
Hello, gentlemen.
Welcome to the Zebras.
It's happy to be here.
You so we got to start off with, we do a comedy thing at Tatio's.
Yes.
For
the Middle Ground
referees.
of Weymouth.
Middle Ground of
Go
Weymouth.
check it out. Great food.
Great food, great place. And every year, the Referee's Crease puts on a Christmas party, a holiday party, and we have some food, and I usually do a little shtick.
And we always ask, Riles to drag one of his buddies there. And Paul Nardizzi came the first year. He crushed it, and then Greg crushed it this year.
And you had one of the best lines ever. Terry Partridge, who is a legend in refereeing, if you don't know him, Grandpa, we call him, because I think he's 106, and he
Yes.
still referees, runs marathons. He's just an amazing, amazing human being, right?
I thought I had a third grandpa forever because that's all I called him was Grandpa.
Yeah, Grandpa.
Yeah.
And he'd fall and bounce up like when he did the games like at Thayer and stuff. Just an amazing dude, Terry Partridge. You called him Joe Biden.
I think he was sitting up front for
Yeah.
most of it.
Yes, he was, yeah.
trying to play, which is fine. And then he fell asleep or something, and it just came out. And, I did, I got a laugh from the other side over here from the younger guys, and then I don't know.
It stuck.
Well, it's
guess
funny.
it's
Well, a
stuck.
funny story because the whole thing kind of played into the Hall of Fame night.
Yeah.
So he got absolute, he's in 90s, right?
He was up there.
Yeah, he's up there, right?
I don't know if he's that old,
I
but
think he's
up
late
there.
age. Yeah, he's up there, definitely up there. And we went to the Hall of Fame. My father brought him to the Hall of Fame banquet, which is the USA Hall of Fame, right? And he got absolutely bundled.
Oh, you could tell.
Like
yeah. Oh,
buckled.
Yeah.
Like he was like There was a speech. Somebody was giving a speech, and he was saying out loud, "Oh, this is boring. Why is this? Who's this asshole?"
I think he was trying to do that shit with me. So
He was talking while you were up there.
Yeah.
And that's what.
you got put in the box.
And we didn't know where he was, and then all of a sudden he just shows up, and we're like,
Yeah.
"Where'd you go?" He goes, "I hopped in a cab, and off I went."
We lost him. Yeah. So
I'm glad to hear that he's got a name now.
well, and then to follow this up because it stuck. I did the South Shore chapter Naihoa banquet.
yes.
After the season, this past season, right? And and I go and Terry's there, and he started with me, and immediately I said, hey, quiet down, Joe, and everyone laughed because a lot of the guys were there, and so they were calling him Joe Biden all night. So
Such a great line.
Yes.
One of
Love
the
it when they
best.
stick.
so now, as far as hockey.
Yes.
You are, as you told me back in the day, because Greg was on the Comedy All Star team that we've talked about before with Josh and
Loosely
and
an
with the guys.
all-star team.
Yeah, well, we called it an All Star
Guys
team.
who could skate.
You're a
Yeah.
comedian that can
Yes.
skate.
Yeah. And you were my line mate. You were actually my wing, and I
where
would have
I'm gonna
scored
hear it.
about 15 goals if this jackass passed the puck.
My B button was broken.
Well,
all I
he's-
could do was
he goes, I've never
No
played
sauce.
I've never played hockey with walls.
Yeah. I grew up
Greatest
playing
pond
Bonzo.
hockey player.
Monarch,
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, and it was the Bruins. It was great. I was I had a face-off with John Carter. Remember him? Right before the face-off, I go, "Hey, I won the Stanley Cup championship with you in '93 with the Sharks on Sega Genesis." And he just, I won the face-off.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Oh, it was great. What a fun time.
Yeah, John was our guest.
Yes, he
on the
was, the live show.
podcast.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
he was our guest. So, but that was some fun. We talked about it with a few different people that were involved with that. Frank Simonetti was on, and
Yep.
and that was a fun couple of games. With,
Yeah, those
with-
are great. I wish I
Yeah.
could. If my knees would work, I'd love to play again.
I know. I haven't played. I've refereed a couple.
Yeah, I think stuff
Yeah.
would fall off me if I tried to do anything physical at this point.
Be like your dog when he blew out
Yeah.
the ACL, right?
It just everything pops now. It just hurts.
Getting old. It's
Yeah, I had to
tough.
put on readers the other day.
Oh,
It came quick.
I've been wearing those for a while, so
I'm getting there.
I'm used to that. Yeah, I want to. We just mentioned dogs. I was telling Gino on the way up, on the drive up, about you. You text me all the time.
Sure.
Hey, I thought of this. What do you think of this?
Yep.
Whatever. And the thing about going to a dog park without a dog, and he goes, "Oh, we do that all the
I
time."
go, I've done that.
It
My-
was-
yeah.
I
this is
didn't
an
know-
actual story. It happened.
It was out of something like from like Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Right.
I was
Oh, I love it.
I was on a ship in Victoria, British Columbia.
Yep.
Beautiful day, beautiful island. I got off and took a walk. I was going down to the town, and there was a dog park, and I like dogs, so I sat down. And a woman came up to me, and she goes, "So which one of those is yours?" And I said, "None of them. I just like to watch the little ones play." And she just made a face and walked away, and I realized what I said, and then the group was pointing at me, and I was like, I didn't realize the creepiness of being. I get it, being at a playground by yourself.
Yes, that's
as a guy
very- yes,
is creepy.
very
I didn't
creepy.
realize that there was something against looking at dogs. So. Yeah, I felt bad, but I left. I was upset.
Well, maybe they thought you were going to be stealing the dog.
I don't know,
Like,
but it was
that's
pissed.
fucking funny.
On the way out, I go, I have a dog of my own at home, That's just, I'm not into that.
I just miss my dog. I want to go see. So, like, highly allergic to my house, all that kind of
Yep.
stuff. I'm not, but, my daughter is, and my youngest one loves dogs. And I was telling him, I go, I bring her up the dog park just to go look at the dogs because we're not going to have one. I go play, make a friend.
Don't do it alone. You'll
Yeah.
end up on the list.
At least I got my kid with me, so it's not weird.
You'll end up on a town Facebook page.
Keep a lookout for the dog park.
Don't do it in the van either.
You're registered on a website, Victoria,
I
British
think
Columbia.
that big would go. I think you got something.
I got to register at the dog website.
Yeah, the dog website.
Oh, that's great.
That is when you ever said, "Oh, I do that all the
Yeah, I
time."
was like, I've done that.
If they
yeah,
can
but-
pee outside, I can pee outside. Take a dump in the corner.
Oh my god! When you texted that one to me, I was like, "That is."
these things happen, and I just
Outstanding.
make a mental note and see if I can use it later. It's
awesome.
So now you were overseas doing comedy, and you do that quite a bit.
I wouldn't say I'm on the ship.
On the ship,
yeah,
right,
and it's
so-
it's never any bit less than 5%. It's all American, 95% American people.
Awesome.
Yeah, from all over. So yeah, it's the same. It's the same as a comedy club.
That's great.
Yeah, it's great.
And you've been all over.
Yeah, I've been started doing those in 2018. I've been to every continent except for Antarctica.
They don't have a cruise?
No, they actually do. Believe it or not.
do?
Yeah, one of them, Australian one, goes over there.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, I've got my passport stamped everywhere.
That's awesome.
Yeah, great places.
You
great.
said, and we were talking about it before, Namibia.
Yeah.
Like that's, if someone said, I'm going on a cruise, the last place I would think is Namibia.
I don't even know where that is.
So yeah, it used to be part of South Africa. It's on the upswing.
Yeah.
And like they have that South African accent, which is sometimes confused with Australian, and it's everything
Okay.
is just back off. Yeah.
Oh, I love
and
that
It's
accent.
the second biggest drinking country in the world.
Second to?
South Africa. Is what I was told.
For real?
Yeah, they love the beer. Yeah,
wow,
it's all
no
beer. They
shit.
drink beer. Yeah, they like it's great down there.
And you said nice and cheap too, right?
Very cheap. $1.20 a beer. I thought they were fucking with me. I really did. I'm retiring down there. I had a pizza and 4 beers. It was like $12.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was great.
That's better than an Elks Hall.
Yeah. I mean, I always say like refereeing takes you like I saw the whole country on someone else's dime, and you're doing it as a comedian. Like that's friggin' awesome. Like
South Africa was funny because it just out of nowhere. No one ever thinks of South Africa. I've never thought I would ever be there in my life.
Right.
And friends at home were like, "Oh, you look great. You gonna go swimming?" And I go, "Nah, I'll probably jump in the ocean. Watch out for the sharks."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "You live in fucking Falmouth." I'm telling you, there's more sharks there now.
it's more dangerous where you're at.
Yeah, well, the Cape was just the shark capital of
Number
the
one.
world now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now add another fear. Now I go on someone's boat and a whale's gonna knock me.
Yeah,
into
right.
the
whale?
That was wild. See that video?
Never ever get
Yeah.
on a boat.
And I don't know, I just read this the other day that the sharks off the coast of Brazil, they were found to have cocaine in their systems. They're all coked up. The Brazilian sharks are all coked up. And you know what? The first thing I thought was that must, imagine dealing with a coked up shark. But the good news is they're not dangerous at all because they've ground their teeth down on nothing.
That's nice.
So that's
That Cocaine Bear movie was something else too.
cocaine bear.
Yeah.
Now they have cocaine sharks.
Yeah.
They don't sleep, so that helps.
Yeah, it does. It does.
They sleep swimming.
Now, would you say that's the coolest place you've been?
Yeah, I would
around
say,
the world?
I would say Cape Town, South Africa, if you get a chance to go. It takes a day to get there.
Yeah.
It was 12 hours to Qatar, 7 to Johannesburg, and then scooting over.
Wow.
It's a long time on a plane.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the only thing that sucks.
And then so you fly in,
Yep.
get on a boat. You're
Stay
on the
overnight.
boat.
I stayed overnight in South Africa.
Okay.
Yep.
And then you get in the boat,
get on the boat the next day.
and then you go up the coast, and
Yep. And this was the World Cruise. They started in Tampa. They went down South Africa, came up the other side of South America, did Alaska, went through Asia, came down through the Philippines, and then they came down the east coast of Africa, came back up, and then went back to Florida, Europe, and all that shit.
there was the same people on the ship.
That was the funniest part. I thought it was going to be people jumping on and off.
It was the same people on that same
Turned
cruise.
out to be a same group of people on the ship. It was like half full. And they're all old.
Right.
Because who else can take off a year to go on a
Was
cruise?
it a year long?
Pretty much, yeah.
That is
And
wild.
It was crazy.
Shit.
I got on middle, and like I said, I thought it was going to be people like moving in and out.
Right,
They
right.
all knew each other, and I'm doing a show in a theater that's like half full, and I did a joke, and one guy yelled something from over here, and then the guy on the other side of the theater was like, "Hey, quiet down over there, Mark!" Like they all knew each other's names.
No kidding.
Yeah, like, and there was factions. There were different groups. They were fighting with each other. It was an amazing.
like a jail.
It really was. All these old
nuts.
people get real angry about stuff.
Dude, that's
That cruise must have cost a fortune.
how does Netflix not pick
Right?
up a series?
No,
there?
there was a bunch of. There was the only young people were the ones. TikTok people were like.
Cashing in on it, yeah.
No, yeah, they were like rating it or whatever. They were like documenting it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so there were 3 girls that were on.
Oh, no kidding.
They
Like,
were, I think, probably paid to do it. But yeah, they were.
So they'll be on Netflix or something.
I bet it'll be some kind of
That's
some
crazy.
drama on that thing.
So
see
I've
me on there.
been doing the small cruise ships that park like at Block Island and Newport and stuff like that. And the first one I got on, and I knew they were going to be old, right? The first one I do was down at Mass Maritime. It was parked at Mass Maritime, which in and of itself is ridiculous. But I get on, and 2 women are knitting, actually knitting, right, during the show. And I was just like, yeah, this helps the confidence.
Yeah,
and I did get an Afghan and a sweater
Excellent.
out
I
of it.
was gonna say, knit you a ref sweater.
Swear to God, knitting.
A couple
So-
weeks ago, I'm on, and the ship, it was a fairly big ship. It had like 15 decks. So I'm in the elevator, and I'm riding it down, and there's a woman next to me and a woman over here. And the woman, I would say it was very clear that she didn't speak English, or well, right? She puts deck 4. We get to deck 4, and the door's open, and she doesn't move. The doors close. Then she pushes deck 4. The door's open. The door's closed. She doesn't move. She hits it again. Doors open. Doors closed. The woman next to me goes, ma'am. I go, don't you dare. We are letting this play out. She did it like 2 more times, looked up and went, oh, and then how would you ever end that? You have to see.
Oh,
how
you
long-
gotta
you
let
gotta
that
let
play
that
out.
go.
Nah.
Do not help.
It's not
that's
like you got
awesome.
anywhere to be.
No.
Why not
Oh,
let
I
that
was
play
I
out?
was like this, just staring. Like, don't help that.
That's freaking hilarious.
The ship. There's so much funnier stuff that happens on the ship.
Oh, I bet.
And the people eat. I had a woman in the elevator on one of the scooters. Just came from the buffet. She had like 6 plates of just sweets, like just desserts, going back to her room.
That's awesome.
They're all on scooters, and she's backing out. And she goes, "Hey, careful! Don't want to lose a toe." I said, "You too." And she went.
diabetes.
A little bit of a
That
diabetes.
was a diabetes show. I remember you telling me that one. I was like, that's brilliant.
It's mean, but you did it. You did it.
There's so much material for you on that thing. It's
I
not
just
even
sit
fun.
and watch.
Oh my
I just
God.
sit and watch.
That's awesome. Now, one thing that I have to bring up is your ability to do voices.
Used to.
Well, used to.
Yeah.
But and one of my favorite stories is when you pranked Dustin Pedroia.
Yeah.
And pretended to be Terry Francona.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
He thought.
I got him. I got Lou Merlone, and I got Terry. Well, I didn't get Terry Francona himself, but he eventually said I did. It wasn't on air. But yeah, I used to call. I was a young 22-year-old kid listening to sports radio.
Right.
Driving around in a Red Bull truck. writing
All
skits,
hopped up.
writing skits for the Weiner line. The Weiner line used to be a big deal. It was the most listened to radio, like I think, for a decade
that's huge.
in like the country.
No
Did you
kidding.
win a Whiny Award?
Yeah, I got the Hall of Fame.
That's
which-
awesome.
The big, tallest, small person getting the Whiny Hall of Fame.
The Whiny Hall of Fame. We've never
got
had
a Hall of Fame?
We got a Hall
Yeah,
of Fame right
HOF,
here.
baby.
You kidding me?
Yeah, King of the Nerds.
I just thought that was
But yeah, I used
hilarious.
to call it, and so I got friendly with Glenn Ordway, who used to do the show, and
Mm-hmm.
I pitched it. I go, why don't you, when you have Pedroia on, why don't you say, oh my God, Terry's calling in. I didn't know how it was going to go, and I called in, and they go, yeah, Terry's calling from the park, and I can hear the little fizzle when you go on the air, and I go, hey Petey, how you doing there? Are you going to be late for BP? And then there was a little bit of quiet, and I'm like, oh shit. And I hear Pedroia go, Coach Tony. And I knew that has to be a nickname for him, so he was in.
Yeah.
And I had him for about 5 minutes.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then I hung up, and they were all dying laughing. He's like, what just happened?
He had no
Oh,
idea.
that's
yeah,
awesome.
It was pretty funny.
That
Craig
was,
Petey.
hilarious. And of course, the Menino you do is second to none. I
Yeah.
mean, and God rest his soul,
Yes.
Mayor Menino.
Yes.
I mean, he served the city for a long time, but was a little difficult to understand at times.
I understood him.
Well, that's because you're from Southie.
I
you all
speak-
talk
yeah,
like that.
I
I had
speak
a woman.
Southie.
I had a woman that worked in the office that told me that was one of the best ones she served.
Oh, that's,
Oh.
Which meant a lot.
Yeah.
well,
I've
I'll tell
heard
you.
that.
Oh, in Menino's office?
That worked in his office.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Really?
So she was close to him.
Because there's a bunch of people that do them.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, a few main ones here in Boston, but yours
Well, I had a
by far was the best.
I was at Giggles one night, and I'm sure you were there. We were all there at one point, and I broke into it, and they were "Sir boss, sir father, sir, sir," and it's mumbling, and as I'm doing it, you know how this works. When you're on
Yeah.
stage, your brain can be 4 jokes ahead.
Oh, right.
So I'm doing it, and I look over, and I swear to God, I thought it was Menino's son sitting there. So I'm still doing it. My brain's going, fucking stop. But I'm still in the bit. And then I'm like, oh. And then I finished it. I got off, and I'm like, I think he's out there. And it wasn't him.
Wasn't
but
him?
it was just that panic.
Oh,
but
yeah.
you keep on going.
Yeah. Oh, I've been there.
that's funny.
I've been there. I did it up at Giggles actually not too long after I started. You know, we do the benefits.
Yep.
It was a benefit for like some state senator. I didn't know who he was, and I used to wear clogs on stage and do a bit about wearing clogs as a guy. Might as well be gay, and it was a stupid bit, and no one laughed. And I go like whatever the guy's name was, I forget. Senator Mike, what are you, gay? And I guess he was. But no one was supposed to know.
Oh, boy.
And I didn't know. And it was like
You could hear
all
a
of a
pin,
sudden
open
it was
mouth
like
insert
those,
foot.
those movies where everything
Oh, yeah.
goes.
Oh, your brain is.
And I'm like,
You can't come out of it. Yeah.
Mouth
and
starts
it,
sweating.
It took me about 5 minutes to climb out of it.
Oh, yeah.
And I get off stage and like, you didn't know? I'm like, no. Why didn't someone tell me? I had no idea. Like that. So ever since then, before a show, I always ask, anything
I always
I should
take a
know?
look. Always take a look.
Anything I should know? You
always
know?
take a look.
Hey, learning experiences,
But-
right?
Oh,
Live
yeah.
and learn.
Yeah.
My hockey one, I used to love doing the hockey one. He's retired. It was the Doc Emmerich.
Doc Emmerich.
Oh, it was my favorite.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I loved him because I thought
he was great.
He's my second favorite NHL broadcaster behind Gary Thorne.
Gary Thorne is good, yeah.
But
Yeah,
he
he was
would, if you paid attention to him, he would come back from a commercial with a riddle.
Yes.
And
Oh, yeah.
remember, they'd come back in commercial and be like, a young man was born in Finland. That man was the sister's brother of his father's twice-removed cousin, who knew Olli Jokinen. And then that was like, and then the puck would drop, and then he'd go, "We go to you, Pierre." And then Pierre Maguire was in the booth.
Yeah.
And then he'd randle off. Oh yeah, Olli Jokinen played for the Manitoba Moose Nuts back in the. He knew like
He knew everything, his whole
the
family
guy's
history.
Pee-wee team.
Yeah. His coach.
He always knew
yeah.
everything.
He knew the coach. Yeah.
Oh, he was the best. Doc was the best. But Doc used to get in this thing too. If you remember, like big games, like the playoffs, is when he was
yeah.
always on. He'd always go like, "Back to Bork, back to Neely." That wow! Like, as it got closer to the net, he would just scream. You're like, what happened?
You're jumping off the couch and you're like, oh,
he was
nothing happened.
he was one of the best.
You got to be animated, right?
oh, yeah.
Like that's such a.
And
awesome.
they would show him. He's jumping
yeah.
around in the booth.
Oh yeah,
It's like me supervising a hockey game.
yeah. You get.
I start sweating. I got my tie off.
He's yelling at coaches from the stands.
I might have did that this weekend in the Chowder Cups.
Do you guys yell at refs when you're coaching the kids? Or did you?
All right, so Gino.
Yes, when I played, I did. I was awful.
No, but when you,
Yeah.
as a ref,
Well, he
watching,
just started. He's just. Oh, you mean as a ref yelling at coaches?
as a civilian for the day, not refing, watching a game. Do you ever would you ever yell at a ref from the stands?
Oh, from the stands? No.
Okay.
No, I would never.
Would ya?
Unless if I'm like they're doing something like obnoxious and it's my guy and I need
Okay,
to.
yeah.
If they work for him.
Yeah,
they
yeah,
would.
like leaning on the boards or something. Like I don't know.
But when I was coaching, yeah.
That's fine.
I
No, I'm
was-
just saying the
but
guy.
Gino just started coaching his daughter, and I got an over.
Yeah, it's an over-under saying I get kicked out at some
When he
point.
gets
yeah.
kicked
Oh,
I'll
out.
take the
'Cause he's getting
well,
kicked
days. Oh, it's gonna happen. But
Oh,
just
yeah,
how many
definitely,
days?
yeah.
Okay.
It's just a matter of when. It's not a matter of if.
Gotcha.
Like I already bit my tongue once in a summer thing. Like just
Now, like, how old are the refs?
they're adults and some of them are kids.
All
Like
right.
most of them will be kids this year anyway. For I mean, you 9 girls.
Okay.
Like
I always hated seeing like the kids in Little League that are like 14. They're like only 2 years older than the kids and getting it from the
Yeah.
oh,
from
they
the
get it all
fathers.
the time.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Like I was, my daughter's game was going at Canton Little Rink, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was the Providence for whatever reason they're horrible, right? And they were losing 17 to like 1. One girl out there by herself, and it was like a little controversial goal, right? It would have made it 18,
Sure.
right? She counted a goal. They go to center ice, right? Now the guy's like after the fact, the girl's already at center ice, ready to drop the puck to get the game going again. And it's already 17 to 1. There's a million goals scored. There's a million whistles already. They're already running behind. Come over here. Ah, why else that a goal? The net? Like, what are we doing? So now the girl has to go over, talk to the coach. That's like another 2 minutes. And then, now she has to defend herself. Then they go over and drop the puck. And the guy's still going. And I'm like, what are we doing?
And you're up by 16 goals.
It was like, no, they were losing actually.
Oh, they were losing.
But it was like, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
It was 2 minutes, 3 minutes left to go in the game.
Yeah.
And you want to now delay the game to have to get an explanation on a thing that didn't really matter?
I saw a reel the other day. It was a Little League baseball game, and the kid drops down a bunt. The catcher pops out at the plate, turns, fires a great throw to first. Umpire gives him a fist bump. Said, "Nice job." And the post was, "Is this okay?" Like, it's Little League, and the
Yes, it
umpire,
is okay.
it's 100% okay.
Yes.
But there was a debate about he should just ump the game and be professional. No, it's Little League.
They're a part of the
you know,
game.
Absolutely. Say it.
And we're coaches just as much as referees,
Absolutely.
right? Like we're the ones hands-on with the kids.
Yep.
We're out there, right? You're yelling from the bench, and I'm like, I hate when like the referee's like, "Hey kid, nice job," and the parents up there going, "So you talk to my kid? What do you think you're doing talking to my little
You're
Johnny?"
on ice coach at that point.
You're a moron. You have no idea what you're talking about. I'm trying to encourage this kid, and you're yelling and screaming at him to shoot the fucking puck.
Yeah. Well, the worst is when a kid chirps you and, tells you, like, motherfucks you or something. And you start talking to him. The coach goes, you can't talk to me. Don't talk to my players. I'm like, well, tell him not to motherfuck me. And then maybe I won't talk to them. Like, like, are you kidding me?
In that case, I'd want a double major. I want the kid gone, and then tell me which one is your mother up there. Well, okay, she's gone too. Just for bad parenting. She has to go now. Take him out of here.
Well, believe me.
Oh, I know.
I've never thrown a fan out of a rink. I kind of pride myself in that because I don't pay attention.
Well, you shouldn't.
It doesn't,
but
I
can't say that I haven't.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess there are certain times where it's warranted, but I just don't pay attention
Wouldn't
enough.
wouldn't you tell the coach, like, hey, tell what's her name, tell the whatever on your side, knock it off.
Yeah, I mean,
think that would be the
Well,
first.
that is
that'd be
the
first step.
That is the first step.
Yeah.
Usually, if there's like a rock issue, like, hey, can you get your parents under
Yeah.
control, whatever, and then they usually do it, or sometimes they fight back and go, "Oh, I don't know who that is in the stands. Not my parents." And you're like, well, they're wearing the red terrier hat.
So, are the kids bad nowadays?
It's
Yeah.
the same. It
hasn't changed.
It hasn't changed.
It's one of those catch-22s where I think they're emulating what they see, which I love, and I love like HBO used to do the 24/7 or what it was.
Yeah.
I think there's nothing better than mic'd up hockey.
Agreed.
I think it should
yeah.
be an option to watch games
Yeah.
where you subscribe, like Bruins are on Nesson, or I could watch it on Rated R on pay-per-view.
That's a brilliant
And I
idea.
think it would sell.
It would sell.
Because they do that with the not inside the NFL, the Hard Knocks.
Hard
You
Knocks.
can watch it in the R-rated version, or you could watch it all bleeped up.
Right.
I would watch a hockey game mic'd up, just come back and hear what was said.
Oh, that would
I think
be
it would be
great.
amazing. And I'm just wondering what, I guess, the catch-22. Kids see it, and it is acceptable for me for an adult to yell at an adult at the NHL, AHL level.
Correct.
Yeah.
You're both adults.
Yep.
Just not acceptable when you're a kid. So I think maybe they're seeing the adults do it. I want to do it too.
Yeah.
Well, that's the whole problem with our industry, right? Like they see it on TV, and then they can act like that
Yep.
in the amateurs. Like you guys are amateurs. I don't care if you're coaching.
Yep.
You're still an amateur coach, right? You're not a pro.
Yep.
I don't care if you played 20 seasons in the National Hockey League. You're an amateur coach
Yeah.
right now. You are coaching amateurs. This ain't the pros.
Yep.
And you're going to get amateur referees. Everybody's an amateur. The parents don't know what the hell they're doing. So it's like, figure it out. Just go there and cheer for your kid and make sure they're in a safe environment. That's all you really should care about.
Right. Well, I have to admit I did teach a chirping clinic.
That's great.
At the CCM Hockey House and taught kids
See,
how
I
to
miss.
chirp.
I know.
nothing wrong
I
with the
know.
chirp.
I know a couple of refs now, and I don't get to watch a lot of hockey as much as I used to. But growing up, I knew every ref.
Right.
Yeah.
I knew every ref. And part of it is you guys need to take your helmets off. I don't care about your safety. I don't care. We need to see your faces. I know Rooney. I don't know really knows what he looks like. But if I saw Kevin Collins at a fucking bar, I would know who he is.
yeah,
Or
true.
Don Koharski or Kerry Frazier. We all knew the refs, and we all knew the ones that we hated.
Right.
So that's what I loved because they would go at it. They would fight with each other, and it was. I love those old films.
We've talked about how now, like back then, all those guys you mentioned, everyone knew what they were getting. They knew the personality. They knew the game they were going to call, and they knew whether or not they liked them or hated them.
Right.
And now it's kind of like you don't know who's who. Like you just put
Who
it
was
brilliantly.
have another donut? Who is that?
That's Don
Koharski.
Koharski.
On Schoenfeld and Brian.
Schoenfeld.
Yeah, Schoenfeld.
Go have another donut, you
don't-
fat pig.
You don't think he's been sitting on that one for 2-3 years?
Well, actually, it's funny. I heard that story from his mouth. I worked with Jamie, his son, and his brother Terry, who we'll have on the podcast. But I want Don on the podcast to tell the story himself.
Yeah.
But it was like interesting to see that morning. Like you're all in the same hotel and all that kind of stuff, right? So you see him, it's a nice calm environment in the morning. You have a coffee, donut, whatever, right? That's what he had for breakfast that morning. So he saw him in the hotel eating a donut.
I didn't
Or he
bump
saw,
you.
I don't know
fell.
where, it might have been a hotel or breakfast, wherever, right?
Yeah,
but he
yeah.
saw him eating a friggin' donut, and that's what he was like, yeah, but it's like, they're friends. They're actually
Yeah.
they're
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
friends,
Oh,
and they
yeah.
know each other and like each other. It's just the heat of the battle,
Yeah.
and it's just two grown adults. Like, doesn't matter if it's your fucking wiffle ball game,
Yeah.
and my buddy's umping it, right? I'm gonna argue with him till I'm blue in the face, right?
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
just like,
That's
and we're
the-
gonna go have a beer afterwards.
That's the level of competitiveness at that level.
in
Yeah.
professionalism.
And that was a rare moment caught on video back then. Because
Yeah.
when you think of it now, everything's caught on video. I mean, we're on video right now
Yep.
over there. We're on video here. Everything's on video.
Right.
Right? Now, every rink has a live barn or a hockey TV or whatever.
Really?
You can't hide, yeah.
That was a very rare kind of behind the scenes moment caught on video at the time.
It was in the runway.
In the
Yeah.
runway.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that I think made it even bigger back then because you didn't see that all
And
the
they
time.
bumped too. That was another
Oh,
thing.
yeah, they
like
bumped.
the physical bump. Yeah.
And that was the whole, you bump me. I didn't bump you.
I bump
fell.
you, yeah. You fell, right? Yeah.
Oh, it's just
That was so good.
too funny.
It's such a good
And
movie.
I think part of it's like I don't know if it's the mostly Canadians and their insults are just hilarious.
Oh, they're funny.
You know,
yeah.
they're funny. Yeah, they're genuinely funny. Like when they're chirping bench to bench, like this is the National League. This
yeah.
is the National League. Go back to the Little
yeah.
League.
Oh, they,
Yeah,
like-
the little. Oh yeah, buddy.
Like when Krug played for Providence, like he was a funny little bastard. Like he would, like he would chirp you. Like
There was
yeah.
one video of was it Fiddler? A guy named Fiddler played for the Canucks.
Okay.
And he was coming back to the bench imitating somebody on the Canucks. He was imitating. He made like a face.
Oh, yeah.
And Alain Vignon is the coach. He lost it laughing. You can put.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
one of the
it was
funny-
so good,
He
yeah.
loses it for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. My favorite is Drew Doughty when he was he was mic'd up. And buddy, you suck at hockey.
Yeah, he's talking to Pat Maroon.
And I say he was.
Yeah.
And when I'm reffing, sometimes I won't say it to anyone, but in my I'll say it under my breath, buddy, you suck at hockey.
Oh, right.
This is my favorite one.
And then when like the fighting aspect too, when one guy they skate up to each other and they're like you want to go tonight, and
Right.
then the business side of like I got a bad hand. Okay, no problem. You know.
Yeah.
It's like such a cordial.
Yeah.
Do you want me to beat the shit out each night? No, I can't. I got a bad
coach
hand.
said no,
Next
yeah.
time.
Well, that's the code. We talked about it.
Right.
Doug Smith was on, and we talked about the code, the fighting code.
which has
and-
kind of gone out the window, I think, a little bit with the hitting on the ice.
Well, the
And-
penalties are so severe now. So like that's why you see all these kids get run. There's no consequences. Like so, if you ran Gretzky, McSorley's coming over
Sure.
the top. But now it's 2, 10, and 5. Right,
Yeah,
so you're
for-
sitting for 17 minutes right off the
you
top.
jump
If you,
someone.
if you instigate
Yeah,
a fight,
instigate.
right?
And let me add this to it. Back in the day, the goal one was to get the helmet off.
Yep.
I get it. Concussions happen. But what sense does it make for me to hit a guy as hard as I can in like hard ass plastic
Or a visor.
Makes no
There
sense.
is
None.
nothing that makes sense about that to me. And it, like, so I get it. Like either one or the other. I love fighting, but
More concussions are coming from those hits than actual fighting.
I think so too.
Oh, no
Oh,
question.
it's 100% proven.
I mean, we've talked about it. People are running around wild because there's no responsibility. You don't have to take responsibility for
in the
check.
90s, it was stick work. Remember the stick work
Yeah,
got
yeah.
real out of hand.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and they took care of that. Like playoffs, it was anything up high, and then
Yeah.
Well, they opened the game up, so now it's all speed and skill,
Yep.
right? So it's like the game's in a great freaking spot, but it's so fast and so dynamic now that it's physics. When two people are coming that hard at each other, your brain's gonna rattle.
Yeah.
If we're sitting here squaring, punching each other in the face, like you might lose a teeth, broken nose, eye socket, but you know,
Well, you know you're getting hit.
Right.
Like if I drop the gloves with you, I know you're going to try to hit me,
yeah.
and I'm going to try to hit you.
Yep.
If I'm going through center ice and I get clipped on the side of my head by an elbow, I don't see that coming. And plus, the elbow pads are like cement now. And
look at Marchand, that little rat hit
Bennett.
him. Yeah,
That
Bennett,
freaking Sam Bennett, I
right,
hate
he
him.
cussed him. Now he's out for a game and a
Yeah,
half.
so sometimes it's the little knocks that you're like,
Right.
I'm done.
And I think you would agree. The only Florida Panther I said I would not want to see in a Bruins uniform was Sam Bennett.
No,
only
yeah.
one.
No, I would love Kachuk.
I would love Kachuk.
Oh, I would
love
take Kachuk all the way.
Barkov. I would. There's so many guys in that team that I would love to have on our Reinhardt. I mean, come on.
Yeah. No,
But Bennett, man. Oh.
I think they were a great team, and
Yeah.
I think 2 years in a row you ran into obviously the best team. I think
Yeah.
they would. Best team in the East the year before. Absolutely
Yes.
horrible draw.
Right.
Horrible draw, and
Yep.
they got healthy, and it was lucky to go 7. I think.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. I again, and then I think they should reform the playoffs, but I don't know
What's
if
your
I'm-
idea?
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
playoffs? 'Cause
I
I
we've
just
had-
want to go back to 8.
Go back to 8.
1 to 8. Yeah.
So 1 plays 8, 2 plays
Yep.
7.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have basically two conferences.
Yep.
East and West. Boom, 1 through
Yep.
8. I like that.
I
'cause
also want to
you-
get rid of keep the shootout, keep the overtime, get rid of the point. Winner, loser. 3
Okay.
points, 3 points, or 2 points or none.
All right.
That way you go to overtime, nothing to lose.
I don't know in the playoffs if I like the shootout.
No.
regular season.
Regular
Oh,
season.
regular season.
Get rid of that.
Oh, the extra point, all that
Yes.
bullshit.
No.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
You either won in overtime, one in shootout, or one in regulation. That's it. You
Done.
get 2 points, they get 0.
So you really want to scramble your brains, figure out how the college does all this shit. It's like, oh my god, that's crazy
Ridiculous.
how they do it. Yeah,
Absolutely ridiculous with the three,
the
they do
ratings and the
3
points
and
and
all
all
this stuff. And
Are they still hurting for? Are they still saying the scoring is down in the NHL?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't know. I don't know. I think it's.
I don't think it's
I
that.
don't think it's an issue.
The
Yeah.
rule I always told you, the one I hate, the one I absolutely hate, it's been around forever. If you get a delayed penalty, and you get your goalie off the ice, and you maintain the puck, and you score, you should also get the penalty.
So
You did the work.
all right. So college hockey had that implemented for years.
Yep.
And they just took it out this year. A rule change here, they just took it out. And I talked to a bunch of Division One coaches, especially ones in the Atlantic Hockey League, and one of them was actually in the board that passed that rule to bring it into college hockey, and he loved it. And he was
love
kind
it.
of pissed that it got taken out because, like you just said, we just did all the work, we just earned the power play, and now we don't get the power play.
Yeah.
I didn't when I first because that was never a thing in pro hockey. When
Never.
I
No,
Never
it's
been.
when I
never
first
been.
came
No,
in,
it's only a college rule.
when I first came into college, it was new to me.
Yep.
When I came back from my hiatus, and at first I hated it. At first I was like,
I
"This
didn't
is
like it either.
stupid. This is not pure hot. This is this and that." And then the more I thought about it, and that kind of thought process, it makes sense.
The origin of it is not pure hockey.
Right.
Somebody somewhere down the line in the 20s or 30s said, wait a minute, I can get my goalie off because they can't touch the puck. If they do touch the puck, it's dead.
Right.
So some genius coach, I don't know who it was, came up with it, and then it became a copycat, obviously. So the original rule was probably
You did get the power play.
Yes. Right.
I wonder. I don't know what the original rule was.
I'm
with
sure
that.
in the original rule, if you scored on it, you still got the
power play.
I would think. I
We
think
have to do
Interesting.
some
yeah.
research on that.
And the other rule I would like to
Josh Dolan
change.
could look that up.
The other one is shootouts. The goalies are just too good. Mm-hmm. They're too good at it.
Yeah.
They get too much practice at it. They're
Yep.
too good at it. So when it happens in a game, I think you should have the option to decline, like the NFL,
You do.
and take the 2.
You do.
They do that.
Yep. You can decline and take them out.
I don't know
In
that.
the pros?
Oh, in the pros, no.
the
Pros, you can't do
No.
that.
Oh, I'm talking
No.
strictly NHL. Yeah.
Yeah, no, pros
think
you
of-
can't do
and
that.
people say I always take the scoring opportunity, but a minute left, you're up a goal. I'll take the 2-minute
Power
power
play,
play as
yeah.
opposed to getting stuffed, and now they're motivated,
Right.
and it's the other way momentum.
Mm-hmm.
So there is maybe there's one tiny percent that you would take the penalty,
The penalty
Right.
shot optional minor.
but I want
Yeah.
it there.
Because that's been the case for a long time in USA book and also high school and college, right?
Yeah, the equipment is too good. It's not the 1980 where they're wearing love seat cushions for pads. and a,
Well, they're huge, and the goalies are huge.
they're huge.
The goalies are all like 6'5", 6'6". I mean, they take up so much of the net.
You got 5 hole, 1 hole. There was like 9 holes back in 1984. What Gretzky was shooting at?
I'm a goalie dad, so shootouts are very nerve wracking. She played in the semis. She stopped all 4 friggin' shots, and then the girl finally put one in for them. But
Goalies do not. I was a goalkeeper in soccer, and if I played hockey, I would have been a goalie. It's win-win for a goalie.
Yes.
That's the mindset.
yeah,
Yeah, I never feel nervous for the goalie. Never. It's win-win.
I like that. I like that mindset.
Yeah,
I gotta tell my
It's
wife
supposed
that.
to score. It's a breakaway. That's
Yeah.
how I. It's supposed to score. It's a penalty shot from 12 yards away.
Right.
Save it, you save it. But now they're getting. It's almost. I see a penalty shot now, and I'm. He's gonna save it. It's a waste.
yeah. I mean, it's gone are the days of a guaranteed goal.
Plus, if you, I don't know if you can. Can you choose in the NHL If you get a penalty shot, can you choose the shooter, or is it the shooter that was?
No,
Whoever
the
was-
infraction that was
Yeah, so that's
Unless
all.
it's one of those weird ones.
Like
where
where he's
someone
hurt or
throws a
something,
stick
yeah.
That's all I
something,
need is,
yeah.
is the guy
Oh,
that,
right.
that wasn't covered getting a breakaway, then getting a penalty, and now he's gonna Charlie Conway skated in Mighty Ducks and fall on his face. Good job, Spazway.
I love when I was coaching it there. Tony Amonte was the varsity coach, and I one day you were like, make sure you tell him he got stuffed on a breakaway.
Every time. Jean-Claude Van Damme stuffed him.
Oh, that's awesome.
In sudden death.
Oh, I wish I knew that.
He goes, yeah, make sure you tell Tony that
pretty
he
good
got
getting
stuffed by
stuffed by
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Right before COVID, it was the last game I did before COVID. St. Sebastian's played their academy in a prep school playoff game, right? Me and Sweeney haven't done a prep school game in years, never mind a playoff game. So he goes, hey, how many prep school games have you guys done this year? This year, we haven't done one in about 12 years. He just looked at us. He's like, what? We're like, yeah, good luck. 2 minutes in, he's yelling. We're like, that's not going to fly today.
No. He probably thought you were brand new.
Yeah.
That's the best when they don't know you.
had some fun with
and
them.
you go in and they have no idea. Now you umped some baseball.
Little League. Yeah.
Okay.
Little League, a little bit of Babe Ruth. Just, like a 15, 16-year-old kid.
Oh, so you were
I was the
young when you
kid
did
getting
it.
yelled at, yeah.
You squeezing him, Blue?
And we were. Oh, there was stuff
yeah.
to do. You get
Oh,
the
yeah.
fat kid who can't throw a strike, you were calling everything.
Oh, yeah.
I probably stole a lot of hits away from some kids that were pretty good.
be here for
We
a
gotta
couple
get out of
hours.
here. We got to get out of here.
Yeah, that must have been painful at times.
Oh, awful.
Yeah.
Oh, and they gave you like one blocking, like a what do you call it, a blocker, basically.
Yeah,
No
pad
shin
work.
guards.
Nothing.
And a mask. And
That was it.
You just hope the kid blocked it. I took a lot of shin balls.
You didn't wear shin pads?
No. I took a lot.
They
of the
had
ball.
them though, didn't they?
No, he didn't want to do it. It was hot. They're only throwing like 40, 50 miles per hour. It wasn't Danny Almonte in the league. It was just a ball brew.
True. All right. And now and so your sport was soccer in college.
So it was, I probably cared more about soccer in high school. I played baseball as well. And I was always focused on college soccer.
Yeah. And you were a goalie.
Yeah.
And a goalie to me in soccer is just like you have to cover such a huge area. It's almost like it's ridiculous to me.
It's a lot, angles and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And even now, like I just made fun of the goalies in the 80s. That's how I feel now when I watch. It's passed me by. I would be the old goalie coach teaching spread eagles and two-pad kicks.
Right.
And they don't do it anymore. Like,
Right.
we haven't done this since 1985. That's funny. Yeah, so I'm out of it. Like, it blew me by. Yeah. My brother's the goalie coach at, assistant and goalie coach at Merrimack.
Nice.
Yeah, and, it's a totally different teaching philosophy now.
Oh, yeah.
And they play with their feet. They're mostly a defender that can save the ball. It's completely, revolutionized. Wow. Yeah. Indoor, though, is pretty similar to hockey.
Yeah, someone who was it telling me that indoor soccer? Oh, Paul Nardizzi.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Was saying that indoor soccer you getting crunched and
Yeah.
body checked much like hockey.
Right.
I mean, it's not as physical on paper or on people hit each other, but you take whacks. It's in tight, close, and especially the higher level you go, people
a lot of bounds.
People
yeah.
are beating the crap out of each other.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I played a pretty good level. We played on a team that played out of Beverly actually, and we would play Montreal,
no kidding.
Hartford, Springfield, and there was another team somewhere. But we'd go and play on Saturday night in front of like 300 people.
No shit.
And it was great, all D1 players.
Wow, that's
yeah,
awesome.
It was a great time. But it was fast paced. There was 3-pointers.
Really?
Yeah, they made a 3-point line if you hit a goal from behind three.
And
that's pretty cool.
And the goal you're covering is smaller.
Smaller,
obviously. Yeah.
but everything's in tight, and you're just taking a beating.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, those balls must come at you pretty quick. Like just like the 3-on-3, even like the 3-on-3 league with like the little little rinks. Like my daughter's playing goalie, and like she's like the shots just come quicker, like because it's so confined.
And you get gloves. That's it. There's no other protection. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of having balls
That guy was gonna
coming at me. I know. I heard your mind spin when you heard that.
But I always wanted hockey was in my house. It just it's expensive.
Oh, yeah.
And I got to play soccer. But my dad was it was hockey. It was hockey in the house.
He was a huge Bruins fan.
No, he was
A Blackhawks fan?
No, he was slightly a
That's
Bruins.
just a joke.
He was he was a Bruins fan, but he liked loved the Canadiens.
Oh, that's right, the Canadiens.
yeah. So when he was growing up in 50s and 60s, his idol was Jacques Plante,
Okay.
Okay.
goalie.
Yeah.
So he had this thing for the Canadians, and it was weird. I can't say he rooted against the Bruins, but he just always appreciated the Canadians. He had a Canadian license plate at one point.
No kidding.
I think he kind of liked pissing people off, but it was
yeah, that's-
But yeah, he was big Canadians guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
One of
And
my
that's rare for this area.
yeah, like one of my buddies is like a quiet Yankees fan.
Yeah.
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 I'm like,
He has to be quiet about that.
It's died down. That's the thing. I wish the rivalries would come back.
I wish they
Yeah.
would come back too.
Yeah.
Especially the Bruins Montreal rivalry
Yeah.
was the best.
Well, I
Like,
think Florida's now going to be the new problem. But
Right.
there was nothing better than Lucic going through the line to whoever it was.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'll see you next year.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you
like that.
next
This
year.
ain't
I
over.
just saw that like last week. That it came across on one of my feeds. Him and who the hell was it? And he like pulled him in.
Yeah.
And it was this big shit show thing. Everyone was like, that's not.
I think it would be
and
kind of cool. I
everything.
don't know how they could do it, but I think it would be kind of cool if hockey had adopted the way baseball does it. Their schedule.
Oh,
You
yes.
play in series through the year, so you get
That would be
get
nasty.
Montreal in for Thursday.
That's what
Saturday.
hockey does need that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I
Well,
don't know-
college does that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
college
and
does
by the
that.
third game, it's probably
They're
the best. Yeah.
they're ready to kill each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That actually would be pretty cool.
Like the NHL, they do home and homes, but it's like it's
Fair-
not as. It's,
Yeah.
But then you don't see them for like 3-4 months.
Right. Well, even
Yeah.
now too, the way they play it, like the Bruins only play the Canadians. They used to play them 8 times.
Yeah.
Right. And
Now
you know,
they play four. They play 5 teams 4 times, and then everyone else in their conference 3, and then everyone in the West twice.
yeah. See that doesn't build rivalries.
Take that twice out.
I don't care if they don't play
care
the
about
West.
the West. No.
I go
Yeah.
back to old school baseball.
Or go back to playing, every team out west once.
Yeah, they did that.
Make
yeah.
one West Coast trip.
Kind
they
of like
make it
football does. Like you got to play this division this
Yeah.
year, and then you
Yeah.
play the
Yep.
next division, and then you rotate.
right.
I wouldn't mind that at all.
That would be nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
And-
And then
and
you
get-
play more. Yeah.
And get back to, the Bruins playing Florida 8 times this
Like Bruins,
you know,
Rangers. Like
in the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
That would be nasty.
yeah.
I like that.
I also want. Please bring back white shirts at home.
Yeah, you don't like the.
I want white at home.
I agree.
And the reason they used to do white at home was because the fan. I don't know if you know this. It was black and white back then.
right.
And the fans have never seen what the Blackhawks jersey looks like because it's black and white. And when you go to the game, wow! Like I remember hearing my dad be like, "I didn't realize the Canadians jersey was that red." Like because they didn't
Black
know.
and
They
white.
Never, yeah, they
That's
never saw
wild.
that.
Black
Yeah.
and white.
Yeah.
Yeah, why did they do that?
I don't know.
I remember when they did it because it was 2003. I was sitting in my college dorm. I'm like, I remember sitting there. I'm watching the game. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Why are they wearing dark at home?
They're at home,
And then I saw the next game. Like something's going on. They got college roommates that don't give a shit about hockey. I'm like, I'm telling you, something's going on.
Something's fishy.
Yeah,
I don't get it either. Yeah.
Well, I remember back in the NFL when the Patriots would wear their red uniforms at home.
It's
the red tide or whatever.
Team's choice in the NFL.
It's team's choice
Yeah.
in the NFL.
So like the Dolphins wear white at home because it's cooler.
Oh,
With the,
That makes
with
sense.
The sun.
With the sun.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the Cowboys wear white at home. So yeah, so it's
I never
the
knew
team's
that.
choice.
I was wondered about that, but it was something about like it's the team's colors.
I don't know.
And that's why I don't know.
I know the 70s the Bruins wore black at home, but I grew up when there was white at home and
Yeah.
dark and away. I loved it.
What about the color rush? The third jerseys. Not the color rush is NFL.
Yeah.
But the third, every NHL team now has the third jersey.
I absolutely love what the Bruins did last year.
Yeah.
I loved the two, except maybe too many stripes, but I got used to it. But I love the old B. Please bring back the old B.
Yeah.
And their alternate was great with the brown pants.
I love the
Yeah,
brown.
the brown
Yeah,
pants
The brown
were
was
cool.
awesome.
The only thing that bothered me last year was the one patch on one shoulder. There was
Yeah.
only a patch on one shoulder. The 100-year patch was only on one shoulder, not on both. And I'm symmetry
Yeah.
is big for me, and that bothered me at first. I got over it,
So I watch and I'm a viewer, and I want to see what's best for the viewer.
Right.
I want to get rid of white goalie pads. I think only for the reason that it looks awful on TV. It blends in and it doesn't pop. And again, this is little things that I'm watching on TV. And the other thing is, get rid of the red goal light behind the boards and put a light inside the goal. Because hockey is the only sport where the viewer is pretty much the last person to know that the puck went in. If you think about basketball, you saw the shot go in, you know it went in. You see a slap shot, your eyes can't follow that. And the way you know it's a goal is people put their hands up.
Right.
If there was a red light in there that the guy hit,
Boom.
and you see it lights up like the basketball
whole net.
You know, when the basketball
Yeah,
lights
yeah.
up because it's a shot clock.
Yeah.
The whole net would light up red, and it'd be like an instant viewer type thing.
I think some of them have like the lights around the whole glass. Like,
Yeah, I want it in the net.
boom.
I
Yeah,
want,
in
I
the
want
net.
the
I like
inside
that.
the net to light up.
Boom,
Like,
instant.
like the sunburn on the back of the goalie's neck.
Like the second
That's-
that puck crosses that line completely.
I'm telling you, it would look
Well,
look great on TV.
Why
it really
couldn't,
would.
with our technology, right? Because I think that's a brilliant idea, and visually it's brilliant.
Yep.
Why couldn't we do something where the puck, and you'd have to have a transmitter and all that
See, I
shit?
don't think it has
know.
to be that-
But couldn't they do it so that when the puck went over, the light it lit up?
I think you
or
just
is that
got
too
the,
much
the
like
same
a video
old
game?
guy sitting behind there, hits a button, and the light goes off a different way.
All right. We keep it
he's-
old school.
I
mean,
but
that's exactly
make the
what
light.
happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They still use it.
Yeah,
I know
the
you barely see
illuminators.
it in the frame, but
Right.
they always still have the old guy that sits back there. So just light up the net. It would look. I think it would look great.
It would look kind of cool.
In Minnesota, they have the goal judges sit up on the perch. Like there's like a little like way up on the 9th floor.
Oh, way up there?
Way up there, and you hit the light.
Really?
Press box. Yep. There's a
I
press
would
box
think
one,
they-
and then there's one in like they legit have like a bird perch.
No shit.
On the corner. It's like hilarious.
See, I would think the goal judge should be up some. Like they
think
should
he's
have
elevated.
like a lifeguard chair.
Yeah.
Like no, they're just sitting there.
Dude,
Most goal judges just sitting there in a regular seat.
So the college playoffs, the NCAC playoffs, like if you work the final or vice, if you're working the semi and you're not working that day, you're the backup. You're either doing the penalty box doors or you're the goal judge, right? So if you're the goal judge, I was literally sitting on the goal line up on the 9th floor, and when that puck went in, I
You were
hit the
using your
button.
eyes?
Huh?
You were using your eyes from the 9th floor?
Yes.
Wow.
See, I don't like that. Was that hard? I mean,
It was It was It was not. It was not
incredibly hard.
did it work? No, it fucking sucked. But
The only cool thing was I sat next to Dave Carl the whole game and talked to him. So I was like, that was pretty cool.
and you probably missed 3 because you were talking.
He's like, hey, flick the light on.
Well, you always see.
But I
like,
think if they want to make the game better for TV, they tried the laser puck, which
I hated that.
In theory, it made sense, but it was awful.
Yeah.
Because they use it in the video game, and
Oh,
But I
right.
mean, it sucked. But now they're using a little bit of the player. They
highlight the player.
Yeah,
and
which
say
is
who
the
it
same
is.
in the video game,
Right.
Which is good.
Yep.
They don't use it all the time though.
Right.
But
Usually on power plays.
they usually they identify
Yeah.
who's out there. But yeah, if it's going to be a viewer game, and understand that hockey is the hardest sport to watch on television.
Yep.
Let's try to mess with it a little bit.
Good point. It's a good point. I think lifeguard chairs for goal judges.
Yeah.
I don't see why they don't have them.
I know they do the spotlight, which is in rink. Some of
Yeah,
the rinks
yeah.
will spotlight the goal like right after.
Right,
But
right.
instantly, boom, red light.
I love
like
I
it.
love when they do have those. They shut the lights off, spotlight. and
Yeah.
It rings the post, and everybody thinks
Yeah.
it's a goal. You're sitting there waving, and the lights come on. You're like, what the hell's going on?
I know. I hate that. Now, what's your this just came to me. What's your thoughts on instant replay?
Oh, great question.
It's one of those things where you love it when it works for you and you hate it when it doesn't.
True. True.
When you're desperate and you're watching your team in the playoffs and they show that replay and you go, "Is the shoelaces off? Bring it back!" But when it happens against you, it's that's bullshit.
Yeah,
That needs
right.
to change. But it's one of those. I guess everyone gets screwed. I don't know.
Right.
But we come to the point where they've taken the human
Human element
out of
it,
everything.
Yeah.
And people wanted it, and they get it. It's just ridiculous, baseball. But at least if you're gonna do it for everything.
Right.
That
I
whole
agree.
shit show with the puck that got stuck in the netting about 4 years ago with I think it was Columbus.
Yep.
Yeah.
We should be able to review that because it was obvious.
Right.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
can't
Oh, the
review
puck
pucks out of play.
puck
Right.
out
Why
of the-
not
out
do
of
it
the-
now?
I
Like
don't I don't
Belichick's the same way. Everything.
Everything.
Yep.
Everything. Make everything reviewable.
Yeah.
You have the technology. We can take a look and see if we saw it.
Like they're complaining about the delays. Like we're already delaying the game as it is. Who
cares?
Like at this point,
Right.
just
Every
go look,
husband
get it
wants
right.
the game delayed, so they don't
Yeah,
have to
right.
go home.
Another beer, another round. The restaurant wants it. The people want it. Right.
Everyone wants
Yeah.
it. The husband.
Yeah. I had a
not
long
over,
run.
honey.
We're going into overtime, honey. I'm watching the game ended 2 ends to go. Oh boy.
I've talked about my long review, the one in the NCAA's.
Yeah.
It was Notre Dame, North Dakota. in Albany, and they don't have hockey anymore. So like they had to redo the ice and all that kind of stuff.
Doesn't, Albany?
Yeah, the American League team doesn't play there anymore. So like they had to like revamp the building for hockey, and the Bernstein clock, we didn't know which one it was. Goal went in with like 0.3 seconds left. So the overhead had it no goal, and then the live feed had it 0.3 seconds as a goal. So we go in, I see two different things. I walk in, the first thing I saw was no goal. I was like, oh, perfect, going overtime. And it was nice and easy. Like, you want to see a nice, easy review. And then you see, all right, because you always check all the angles.
Yep.
You just check them quick, right? And then you check the next one, 0.3. I'm like, what the fuck? And then Tufsy put the headset on. I'm glad he had the headset on because I would have been losing my mind. It was like a 17 to 20-minute fucking review.
Oh,
Didn't it happen here? State championship or something like that?
There was no review.
No review.
No review.
Yeah.
The
But they
puck
had
went- yeah.
capabilities to do it, but they didn't have it for the
Which two teams
tournament.
were that? Because I remember watching it.
It was
St. John's Prep and
Waltham? Was it Waltham?
Was it the championship?
Well, it was the championship.
Yeah, it was in the
Was it
garden.
Winchester?
Yeah.
Winchester.
Ah,
Winchester,
now it's
yeah.
coming back
Yeah,
to me.
Winchester, yeah.
Because everyone was saying they should play again or play overtime.
Yeah, right.
And,
Yeah, the puck went in. The kid it wasn't even on his stick yet, and the light
Yeah.
went on.
And it was clear
And
as
then he
day.
shot
Yeah.
it. And we actually broke it down.
Yeah, we did,
And
yeah.
how the on-ice officials, what they could have done. Like, the guy on the goal line is never going to see that, and nor should he, because he's watching the net, he's
And
watching
hearing
the
and
puck.
listening for the horn, and it's a slow
the guy
slow
knows.
delay in the garden. So it like all his skill set that he learned.
I felt bad.
yeah.
I felt bad for the kids in that because they don't know what to do. You know,
Right.
you're gonna take
Both
it.
teams.
Both teams. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
The poor kid that scored it. 15 years ago, that's the greatest moment of his life. No one even knows,
Right.
Because you could. I think the horn went off. No, we know now that the horn went off. And everywhere this kid goes, he's gonna see somebody from Winchester playing, men's league or something, beer league, and they'll be like, "You fucking lied," and it's gonna follow him forever.
It's true. Kind of like what happened to me in the softball league back in the day.
What was that one?
Remember when I drove in the winning run and I ran to the bench and high-fived a few people and then went to first? And do you remember this one?
No.
Oh, Dave Russo was pitching, and he wanted to walk me in a slow pitch men's league game because I was like 5 for 5, and I was crushing him. And there was a runner on third, and it was tied up, and it was the bottom of the whatever inning we played. And I roped one out into left field, right over the shortstop's head. And I didn't run right to first. I ran over, I high-fived. It's fucking men's.
it was
a co-ed slow pitch.
that's awesome.
And then I run to first, and I touch first. But because I didn't go right to first, Jack, the umpire, God rest his soul, called me out because I didn't go right to first.
This league was.
I snapped.
This league was fucking crazy. It was all
Nuts.
comedians.
Oh, that's awesome.
And you'd explain it like, no, I got comedy softball league, and everyone would be like, so like, what is that? Like funny? What you guys are joking around? I'm like, it's the most serious softball league I've ever played in my life.
Oh, that's incredible.
It was cutthroat.
Nasty.
I had a girl comic. It was like the first year we played. She was on first, and she was on my team. Somebody hit a screamer, as she's running second. It hit her in the ankle, and like just took her out. And she was pissed. It hit her in the ankle. And she gets up.
remember that.
She gets up, and the ump goes out, and she's like, "Why am I out?" And he goes, "It hit you." She goes, "If I knew that, I would have gotten out of the way." And I'm like, so you chose to take a screaming line drive off the ankle bone?
That league was
it was
crazy.
a crazy league.
I was with Dave over the weekend, and that come up, and I snapped that night. My youngest daughter, Diana, was there, and I went nuts on Jack. I was a little crazy back in the day, but I finally got Dave to admit he should have said no, they won. Yeah. I mean, it was legit. They,
Again, God rest his soul. That guy caused so many more problems than he needed.
Jack
to.
was.
This umpire, he was funny. He was a great guy, but he would go. It would be a close play at first, and he'd go out, and then someone would go, "Come on, Jack!" You go, "Okay, safe." And then it would end up with
No controversy.
So yeah. Matter of fact, there was two umps in that game. The other ump was
Regal?
Paul Machado
Oh, okay.
from Braintree, God rest his soul.
geez.
And he was out in right field. And as I'm running to first, he goes, "Touch the base so we can be done." And I touch the base, and the next thing you know, they're calling me out. And I was like, Paul, like you saw me touch the base, but he didn't. Like he only came like fill in and stuff
we
and for
had
the champ.
one comment.
I'll never forget that one.
He totally Tony Danza, this poor catcher who. It was like you put someone a catcher. They barely have seen a softball before,
Right.
And this kid like 210 came around the corner and
Barreled him.
Just dummied
made
him.
him a yard sale. And the poor probably never played a sport in his life and just in pieces.
It was it
And
got ugly.
everyone just went, oh,
He's not getting up for work tomorrow.
poor
It
kid.
was crazy back. We played right on the Charles.
Yeah.
right over right,
Teddy Ebersol Field.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say M Street Park.
Yeah, no. It would have been worse.
Yeah.
But it was awesome. Like beautiful night in Boston.
That's
but
awesome.
Some of those
Let's
games,
go get
man,
angry
got
with each other.
One of my
ugly.
favorite movies is Bear League with Artie Lang.
Yeah, I mean,
like it's
it's
like
not
it's like a horribly good movie. Like
Yeah.
it's not a very good production movie, but
Yep.
the lines in that movie are absolutely incredible. And when I worked at USHL, you're in apartments and you're going all over the freaking place. So like I used to bring that movie with me everywhere, and like people would be like playing it. So like we'd be on the ice like.
Quoting it.
And shit.
Yeah.
And when you just said your stats, I go, who the hell keeps stats of slow pitch softball? That's a line in the movie. I would die.
I only know that because Dave told me that because he was pitching and he's insane.
Right.
He wanted to walk me.
I think
And
Dave,
slow pitch.
he batted lefty once because the pitcher was a righty.
That checks out.
Yeah, in softball. Like, it's going to come in. What, is he going to work the outside?
that checks
we were
out.
just lobbing the ball in.
That checks out.
Yeah.
But
Your own team's pitching to you.
it's funny how like I have let that go, but I bring it up because it's just funny because that night it was like
it was.
Awesome.
I was not happy. But getting back to the replay.
Yes.
Here's my you agree. When the play comes over the line and then the team possesses it and it's like 45, 50 seconds later and the puck goes
Yes.
in and then they review it.
Yep.
I think that's got to get thrown out. If it's not on the rush and it's not from that rush.
I agree.
As soon as in college is like this, as soon as the defense gets control of the puck and has an opportunity to get it out, that kills the opportunity to replay that play.
I agree.
So that's the one thing I don't like.
I do. I totally agree with that.
I wasn't
Yeah.
expecting you not to agree.
No,
I figured
'cause-
you wouldn't like that
no,
because no
'cause-
one likes that.
No, because
one.
you'll hear the announcer because it's happened like 30 seconds and they're like, I think they're going to challenge us, and we're still playing, and
Right.
it's nuts. And like I remember asking you like, what happens if there's a goal that called no goal, but it went in, and the other team gets the puck and scores on the other side?
Yeah.
And you told me the rule is
That's a goal.
yeah, the first goal counts. Everything that happened never happened. After
Right.
that. Yeah.
Unless it's a major penalty.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
they can call that.
Yeah.
Oh, so I don't have the right.
Right.
I don't have a
Yeah.
right to go.
Does a minor count too, or just a major?
Major penalties.
Just major penalty. Yeah. So if you spear someone, that happened. Everything else
it would
didn't.
be great if that didn't exist.
Oh, that's
we
why it
scored.
exists.
Get out there. Get out there.
Oh, minors do too, yeah.
Baseball swing someone. Yeah. Oh yeah. Now what? You're back on a ship right away.
Getting on Saturday.
Wow.
Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah. Now what's your? Because you're such a huge sports guy.
Yeah.
And because the NHL is pretty far away, we can't really get into. Well, we could get into who you like for next year, but football-wise, NFL, who do you like this year?
I hate to say it. I think if Rodgers is healthy, I think the Jets can make a run.
Yeah, their defense is
They were
nasty.
very good, and if he's healthy, yeah, I think the Jets can come out of the East, come out of the AFC.
That kind of hurts my soul when I hear
Yeah,
that.
I know,
You know what
right?
I mean? Like, and I hate the fact that I can't argue it.
But we were just talking about rivalries, and I love that rivalry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Pats, Jets, like
yeah, I can never like the Jets.
no.
No,
But yeah, and then KC is going to be KC.
They're gonna be good again.
they're going to be there.
It's in pick your whoever has the best quarterback.
No, and who
it's-
doesn't get hurt?
Yeah.
I mean, that's really
That's
what
the
it
other
comes down
thing
to, right?
is they broke the record last year for most starting quarterbacks hurt.
That's wild.
And it's nuts. And that's getting local. I hear, start Drake May.
No way.
I don't want him to. You're going to
No
break
way.
him. Let him.
Sit for a year.
Yeah, look what happened to Joe Burrow. He got broken twice.
Right.
Because he didn't have a line. Then they finally drafted a line.
Yeah.
And he didn't, thank God, he didn't. Like, he hurt his Achilles twice, his knee once. Yeah.
That's
I agree with
interesting.
that.
So you say
I want him to sit.
I want
Jacoby
him to sit.
Brissett be your starting quarterback.
I want him-
100%.
Because he can learn from him, too. And I think they all, from what I heard, Brissett is a very nice, likable team guy, and maybe he takes him under the wing.
Yeah.
Which I think is so overrated. I always hear that. Like, why wouldn't Tom Brady mentor Garoppolo.
No.
Well, you know why? Because it's a fucking business.
Yeah.
I
wants his
I don't
cut.
want anyone. Even at every professional sport, it doesn't work like that. Hey kid, let me teach you how to take money away from me.
Right,
It
right,
never
right.
exists like that. But everyone, all the sports fans think like, no, he'll get him. He'll teach him. He'll take him out to dinner and show him film. No, he doesn't want him taking his job. No, it doesn't work like
He'll
that.
show him how to be a pro by his actions.
Yeah.
That's about it, right? Like,
Well, I think the
Like in foot, like what with quarterback is what I'm saying.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, like who was it that took Bergeron in?
no, not Thornton.
No, it was Martin Lapointe.
Oh,
Yeah.
Marty Lapointe. Yes.
That's different.
Yep.
Young kid, we play hockey. But in football, when it's one quarterback, there's one quarterback.
Right.
I'm not teaching you how to beat me at my job.
Good point.
In pro.
Like Jerry Rice used to always say, he's like, hey, how come you go at 100 miles an hour in practice? It's just practice. He goes, yeah, no one's taking my job.
Absolutely.
And that's what I tell my daughter all the time in goalie. I go, don't let anybody take that net. She missed one game, 1-0, 8 years old. I'm like, you can miss a game.
you're fine.
But don't cheap shot anybody.
No.
You know, that's why I hate Rudy. I hate Rudy. You know,
How many people have ever said that?
I never heard anybody say
I
that.
fucking hate Rudy.
I love that.
I hate him so much.
Murph hates Rudy.
Oh,
That's awesome.
you do the research on him. He was like 28. And look
Yeah,
at
the whole strat. You're right.
I totally side with what's his name? That was the receiver, O'Hare. He was in Wedding Crashers. Vince Vaughn.
Yes.
Vince Vaughn gets kicked off the field. He goes, "This fucking hero thinks it's a super." Yeah, stop hitting him. You are a practice player, and you're going at the guy's knees. Leave. I hate Rudy. Oh, everyone who played a sport
That
hated
is
Rudy. You
freaking
hated
awesome.
Rudy. I don't care what anyone said.
It's Rudy.
I hate him.
That's outstanding.
I might jump on that bandwagon.
You all played sports. Did you like the kid that was needling you in the corner in practice for no reason?
What I hated was the
And
kid.
then goes, I'm just working like you. I'm preparing for
Yeah,
you
no,
for
I
Notre
hated.
Dame."
I hated. I'm sure you had this in college. The kid in the practice that would run people.
Yeah.
And then he'd lose his balls when the game came.
Right.
And he never hit anyone during the game. But in practice, he'd run you, from behind. And you're like, you're not doing this in a game.
Yeah.
Why are you doing this now? You know.
I fought three times in college in practice.
In
yeah.
practice? Yeah.
Yeah. Center ice. One time, center ice, we dropped the gloves, squared up.
Yeah. I just saw a video on one of the reels. It was Darcy Tucker's first day as a Montreal Canadian.
Yeah, and they had a fight.
Fought some guy from last year.
Yeah.
Fucking love it.
Yeah, sucking him, and they went at it.
Yep. Get it out.
And they're probably good for the year.
Yep.
Maybe.
Yeah. You got to get it out.
It's I should have told this story when Bill Stewart was on. It was at Curry practice, and it was probably one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Frank Armstrong was the defenseman, and Jamie Evans was the forechecker. And the drill was, coach dumped it in, defense went back, got it, winger came down, opened up, got the pass out of the zone. Well, Jamie missed the part that it was a breakout drill and thought it was a forecheck drill. And he went in 100 miles an hour, and poor Frank played the puck. And right as he plays the puck,
You hit the coach.
he gets lit up, right, by Jamie coming in because he thought it.
Yeah.
And it was just, luckily, Frank was okay. But the look on his face was like, what the
You idiot.
fuck? Like, because he had no, like, you do a forecheck drill, you're ready.
Right.
You know you're going to get hit.
D's coming down. Yeah.
And I don't know why that story popped in my head because you don't like Rudy.
No, never
he
liked
was
that movie.
trying to take, not that Jamie was doing that.
I
It was
think
just a mistake.
if you see my side, you'll come around on it. A
I
little
think
bit.
once
no,
you
it
started
makes sense.
talking, I
Yeah.
was like, he's probably not wrong. I'm
What
like,
I'm
he's not
saying is
wrong. I can
if
see this.
if you were on that team, you probably hated Rudy. And it's all made up too.
It is all made up.
Montana,
A lot of
it's
it
all
is.
Disney.
Yep.
Yeah, but he was 28 years old
I always forget that fact.
playing against 21-year-olds.
Well,
Hey, you really want something, you can put your heart to it. You'll get it eventually, I guess.
College, one game. Good job, buddy.
Yeah. No, he's got a movie made out of him.
I hate
Just
Rudy.
sitting next to his dad, being like, "So, what do we do now? You
Back to the mill, kid.
You played Georgia Tech, and that's the height of your life."
That's it right there.
Ran down the
That's your-
field.
that's your whole sports career.
Yeah,
One game.
I watch sports movies and just dissect them and realize what's
Yeah.
fake, and it's kind of ruins
Yeah.
sports movies for me.
What's your favorite sports movie?
Major League.
I was just going to say
Major
that.
League, okay.
Major League's my favorite.
Yeah, Slapshot's mine.
I mean, Slapshot's
Yeah.
mine, but
Yeah.
Major League's up there for me.
I think I'd have to capitalize it in each sport.
Yes.
Yeah.
all right,
I like that.
All right, so baseball is Major League,
Yep.
which I I would definitely agree with.
I agree with
you know,
100%.
especially from a comedy standpoint.
Hockey would, yeah, it's Miracle. Or do I want to laugh or do I want to watch a drama? So Miracle and Slapshot.
Yeah, Miracle. I always say the miracle of Miracle was that no one said fuck once in that.
Oh,
movie.
I would have loved.
I
to
mean,
s-
it was Disney.
I
Right.
I would
But-
love to see that movie as rated R.
No one.
Oh, hearing some of the stories that were said.
That's the only thing about that movie. I mean, it makes you want to like just go out and punch someone in the face.
But-
Like that's Russian, right? But it's a great movie, and the story's great, and the whole thing is great, and especially when back then there was like a serious Cold War going on.
Oh, yeah.
that
Oh, yeah.
wasn't just.
That's a good point.
It was
Yeah,
a
there was a lot of
political
tension.
thing.
Yeah, there
it
was a-
wasn't just a hockey game.
Right.
It was actually went beyond that rink into the Cold War.
Right.
And all the like
Hostages.
the stuff between the hostages and the embargo stuff. It was like that went beyond that hockey rink. That's why it was so huge. A lot of young kids don't realize that. Because young kids who grew up with the Cold War,
Right.
like when I was in school, you never knew if there was an alarm, it could be a nuke.
Yeah. So
right?
you remember the '80 game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Let me ask you this: you're a hockey fan, so you probably were into it.
Oh, huge.
Do you think it became a big deal after they won, and half the country didn't even know that they were playing, and all of a sudden they won, so they became fair weather fans? Or do you think everyone was like, they're playing Russia today?
I
I know it was on delay.
It was on delay. They showed it at night, and it already happened. But back then, you didn't have social media. You didn't have the TikTok. You didn't have all this stuff. So no one knew what happened. Like, it wasn't like it was, U.S. won. Let's watch it and see how they won. You didn't know when you were watching it. At least I didn't. I mean, I remember where exactly I was in the breezeway, sitting on the ottoman of my grandfather's chair. It was my grandfather wasn't there; he had passed away, but it was his chair. I don't even know why I had to explain that, but either way, I'm sitting on the ottoman when Eruzione scored, and I remember just going apeshit. And I think it's a great question because
Which is a bench minor, by the way, nowadays.
what?
They all
No,
skated on the
they all
ice.
skated on the ice. They all skated on the ice.
Every
That's right.
goal,
Yeah.
every goal they skated on. the
Yeah,
ice.
that was cool.
I
Yeah.
remember watching the movie and forgetting, and I'm like, this is so Disney. They would never skate in the ice. And then I remember,
they
I'm like,
did,
oh
yeah.
shit, they did.
Yeah, they skated on the ice for every goal. But I think it was probably, I think more people paid attention than, I think a lot more people came after the fact.
Yep.
But there was a lot of people into that because of the time,
Gotcha.
because of what was happening, because it was on U.S. soil, right? If that game's played in Nagano, or somewhere else, especially at that time with the media and stuff, probably, I don't know if, I don't know, but it was in Lake Placid. It was at,
It was home.
in the last time we had won it was in 1960 at Lake Placid, right? So there was,
And they were kicking the shit out of NHL teams.
well, and
All-Stars.
they played them 10 days before the Olympics started. Lost 9-1 or
10-1.
something like that. 10-1.
One of the best lines in any movie. You're not going to take away my net. No, this is my net, Herb. And he goes, they scored 10 goals. It's everybody's net. That's one of the best lines.
That
in the
is a
movie.
good line. But I think because of all that buildup and the fact that the Russians were this machine and they were the enemy. I mean, they were the
They were
enemy.
No, they were literally soldiers.
And
Tikhonov was a tyrant.
Yeah. And so I think there was a faction of people that got on board late, but I think it was a big thing. That whole Olympics was a big thing because of the boycotts before.
Yep.
Russia almost boycotted the Olympics because it was on U.S. soil.
Right.
And then they
There was
sent their
a
athletes.
boycott
Prior
Olympics.
prior Olympics, and then so that Russia threatened to boycott. It was more than just that hockey game. That's why it was, and it wasn't just. I mean, hockey was what was remembered from that, right? Because it was such an upset.
Right.
Probably one of the biggest upsets in sports history. I mean,
think
bar
it's-
none.
I think it's-
I don't.
I think-
Think,
I
I
think
mean,
it's
you can
probably
make an
one.
argument that that's the biggest upset ever.
Yeah.
Especially with who they played and the whole thing. But all the competitions were kind of like heightened that year, and obviously not as watched, but everything kind of had a fuck you Russia kind of feel to it, right?
Yep.
Because again, in the 70s growing up, we knew there were hundreds of nukes, and now looking back, maybe it was a little more, maybe we made it a little more dramatic at the time than it was.
What's going on now?
But still, now it's starting to get crazy again. But we lived in a time where, like, one decision would end the world.
Right.
Like I think it was a little over dramatized at the time, but there was a legit fear there growing up that we could get nuked, and there was a lot of tension. So I think that's why. And I showed the movie on the bus to my hockey team back in the day, and I would explain to them this was just more than a hockey team, a bunch of college kids.
I don't think they could fathom it.
No.
Well, no, they didn't, but it made me feel better.
Yeah.
For the bus ride.
Oh, yeah.
But all right.
Oh,
So
it's
Get the
it's definitely a
chills
pump-up
watching that
movie.
movie.
yeah.
Yeah. Who's who's I always forget his name, but one guy had the best 5 years of any awesome life you could ever imagine. It's either Nystrom or I always forget his name. He was on the USA team, won the gold medal, biggest hockey game ever in the United States, joined the Islanders midseason, and won 4 cups in a row.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it was.
I think it's either Nystrom or I always confuse him with another guy on that team. But just imagine that, like,
That's a
life is
run.
good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, right? You win a gold medal, you're not
Like,
supposed to
literally,
win.
And then on that run.
So it was February was the Olympics. He joined the Islanders, won a cup that year, and then went on to win 3 more after that.
Wow.
That's amazing.
That amazing.
That's hitting the lottery right there.
I don't think it's Nystrom. I always forget his name, but yeah.
That's like a viral TikTok video.
Yeah.
Nowadays, right? I mean, that's just hitting the lottery, All right, Mystery Alaska was a good one too.
Love it. Yeah.
We talked about
Unrealistic.
that one.
That's one that I
Completely
I
unrealistic.
mean, I can't.
The
You're not going to
Rangers-
fly the Rangers in?
Choppering in to a rink that had no boards.
and just watching John Beebe, whatever it is, John Beebe,
John Beebe.
Russell Crowe. Like,
Yeah.
I always wonder, like, if I ever met him just next to him in a year, I'll be like, how the fuck did you end up in a hockey movie? You're from Australia. Like, what happened? Who did you owe?
I just watched the movie with Russell Crowe.
I love him. He's great.
Great.
Yeah.
Land of Bad, it's
Okay.
called on Netflix. Actually, a really good movie, military movie. And he
Okay.
plays a drone pilot, and he looks like he, got bit by a tick and swole. I mean, he blew up. But it was pretty funny because Gladiator 2's coming out.
Yeah.
And he was in this movie, and he's, like just a drone pilot.
Yeah, it was. That was they had Mike Myers, who was playing like the Canadian announcer in that
Yeah.
movie.
Oh,
Ole
that's
Scholzhofer. Yeah, it was a
Yeah,
funny,
that was a
good
good
movie. Yeah, I like that movie.
And then you have Youngblood.
Oh,
Young blood.
Yeah, again,
I mean-
that one quotes. I mean,
Yeah.
Endless.
Yeah.
Endless.
they had to teach. They had to teach Swayze how to shoot. Rob Lowe couldn't skate.
Yeah. No,
Keanu
that-
Reeves was the goalie.
That's right.
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves was the goalie. I like the girl who drove the Zamboni. I think I've said that before.
Cynthia Gibb.
Gibb. Yeah. But so all right. So hockey movie. Now football movie. I mean, there's a bunch.
Unnecessary
Obviously,
roughness.
Yeah,
obviously
I mean,
not
humor.
Rudy.
I like the program. The program was a good movie.
Program is my
Program was
favorite.
great.
Program. Starting defense. A
can't-
seat at the table. And then he smashes his head through the window.
I watch movies like that now because I was involved with college coaching. I can't believe that movie. I can believe it got made. I can't believe they allowed some real teams in it. So they play
It was
like
based on Florida State.
yeah, they play a real schedule in that. They played Mizzou. They played BC in that movie. They show it, and then Iowa.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine NCAA being like, "All right, you're going to make a movie about how controversial money and
Yeah, right.
allowing them to use the rights."
That's true,
Same
yeah.
thing with Blue Chips. They did that with Blue Chips. They basically exposed, here's how we're doing it,
Right.
and they used Indiana. They used
Yeah, the basketball. Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah. I love the program.
Yep.
I mean, it's
Yep.
it's one of those movies that it's not winning any awards.
Moneyball gets a lot of credit or a lot of accolades.
Yeah.
And I like it.
It's a good movie.
I like it for the acting.
Yeah.
Now that it's very unrealistic.
Right.
Some things. So Hasselbeck. No, what's his name? Hatterberg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is no catcher that is asked to play first base and is afraid to do so. As a catcher, it was a day off. It was
Right.
like, I get to go play first base?
Yeah.
Here's what happened. You'd go, hey, go play first base today. And then I would ask, which one do I put on the bag again? Okay, I'm good.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And he's like, it was so overrated. He was like, what's your biggest fear? A ball being hit to my face? A ball being directly hit at me? as opposed to a slider in the dirt that you've
Yeah.
never seen before.
Or foul
catches
tip
you in
right
the
off
nuts.
the-
Yeah.
yeah.
Come
So,
on.
again, I overanalyze movies. There was one scene too. The girl, the daughter, is worried about him getting fired. The father.
yeah.
They're in the airport, and he's like, "Don't worry about me getting fired. You should be worried about a lot more stuff. You're about to get on an airplane now. Those things crash all the time. Do the math. The year was 2002. Could you ever say that to someone?
says that?
A year after 2001?
Yeah.
Nope.
It doesn't make sense.
Who says that?
Yes. Awful.
So
Never
that's
picked
not
that
up
up.
there.
No.
All right. So program. One of the North Dallas 40.
Never seen it.
No, really?
No.
And The Longest Yard.
Never saw that either.
That
Either
one's
one.
good. They remade that, and Adam Sandler was the quarterback. Originally, it was Burt Reynolds. So that'll tell you they didn't really do a good job with the remake. But basketball movies,
Oh, you got Hoosiers.
yeah,
I mentioned Blue Chips. I know I'm missing one. Oh, White Men Can't Jump.
that's a great one. That's a great one. What about that one, Space Jam?
Nah, I never saw it.
I never did either.
That's
I
right
just-
for me.
I saw a thing on it the other day. Is there any soccer movies?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, plenty of
What do
soccer
we got?
movies.
Victory?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All
Sylvester Stallone playing goal.
I was more busting your balls. 'cause
No, it was.
Soccer's,
That was a good
soccer.
movie. Michael Caine was in that movie.
No shit.
What was the
that's
Rodney
right.
Dangerfield one?
Ladybugs.
Ladybugs. Yes. Yes.
He was.
That was. yeah.
I admit it. My sport is not well represented in pop culture.
That's awesome.
It's got a
Victory
bad rap.
was good though.
It's got a bad rap. But now I'm seeing, you're seeing all these Europeans invade sports.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it's almost half hockey, and basketball is right behind. And
Yeah.
they're doing the same shit that they do on the soccer field.
Oh, yeah.
They're flopping.
Oh, it's awful. Awful.
They don't-
Basketball.
They don't call that
especially.
enough in NHL. I don't think.
No.
The double.
Don't they?
Yeah.
The double always pissed me off too. Because if it was enough to be a penalty,
But you shouldn't sell it either.
I know.
It's embellishment.
Yeah.
Like
I didn't. That's another. It's funny. That's when that first kind of came in, right? Like 2 for hooking, 2 for embellishment. I hated it.
Right.
I was like, what the fuck? It's either one or the other.
Right.
But then, the more you think about it and you break it down,
and when you see it,
you realize, yeah, you got hooked, but then you're a complete asshole by launching yourself in the air. So, I mean, I came from old school where if that happened back in the day,
you're not calling anything.
I didn't call anything.
And then when the kid really got taken out, you're like, well,
didn't
you made
call
your own
anything
fucking
either.
bed, dude.
I didn't know if you were flopping or not.
Yeah.
Like, we never called anything.
Right.
And that's why we always said, like, you see a hook, you wait.
Right.
Don't throw your arm up because, it might not be a hook.
Right.
Or the kid might, go
to
fly
sell
or
it,
whatever. And I didn't like it at first, but now I do like it because when it's used properly, and there's actually a penalty happen, and then there's the flop, it should be called now.
It was a big thing this year in college hockey, especially like I addressed it right away.
Yeah.
And they do the stats and everything. Like Hockey East had the most embellishment and dive calls. We were second. And I really didn't start harping on it till halfway through until I saw a trend and like it go on. Once it went unchecked, I go, boom, we need to start hammering this. And then once I did, everybody expected it, right? So when you saw it and it didn't get called, it was like, what the,
Yeah.
So it was expected to get called, and that's what I kind of want to hop on again next year. Like, don't go try to sell. You're gonna get nailed for it.
Yeah. It was hard for me at first when I had the option to do it because my instinct was, fuck you, kid. You shouldn't have dove.
Yep.
Yeah, you got hooked, but I don't care.
Like I sent the video, I send the videos out once a week, and then sure as shit, the coach goes, "We're gonna get one this weekend," and they fucking got one.
How is college hockey affected at all by the NL or the NIL money?
Big time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like,
I mean, I know transfer is a big deal. But
transfers that's still going on, and like,
Portal.
I was just down in Florida for all the meetings, and they were talking about all that, and it was over my friggin' head.
Yeah.
Like I didn't comprehend any of it that was going on, but
it's gonna be a big problem.
It is.
It's unlike say like football and basketball, where they get one shot at them,
Mm-hmm.
which is why I love how hockey and baseball do it. You can draft a guy and own him,
right.
and let him play, for their college or what.
Right.
You got one shot in NFL, and I think the NBA should go back because Larry Bird was drafted and played a season at Indiana State.
Right.
They owned him.
Right.
How much better would that be for both sports.
Right.
You draft the next best guy and let the team know that they own him, and now they're going to watch that college team more and bring viewership in. It benefits, and then the kid isn't thrown into a league where he's not ready yet.
Well, that happens in hockey.
Yeah, they stay in,
They
they
stay in college.
2 years?
2 years. I think it's 2 years, yeah.
And that happened with the kid from around here that didn't want to play for
Was it
Ranger. He ended up with the Ranger. Kreider? Was it Kreider?
VZ?
VZ, that's what it was.
VZ, yes.
Kreider went. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, VZ didn't want to play for.
But when it's going to be in the guarantee it, the number one pick is going to know that he's going to go to a team he doesn't want to play for and know that he's going to make just as much money in advertising.
Yep.
And maybe even more with a rookie deal.
Look at Caitlin Clark. She's making more than she does her salary.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Huge money.
So Jimmy Conley, writer, analyst, all that kind of stuff, he just tweeted out that the colleges are only allowed to roster 26 players in college hockey next season.
And how many was it before?
I don't know what the actual number is now, but rostered 26 players just because of all the money in the market. And the NCAA just did it.
26 scholarships too, or just 26
I think
players?
rostered 26 players. And I don't know what the scholarship numbers are, but yeah.
How many teams in the East now? Like 20, 25?
College hockey?
Yeah.
A lot.
Hockey East has,
Atlantic
I'd say
hockey has
there's probably 18, right?
Yep, we have 13 in Atlantic, so
Yeah.
we have an odd number, yeah.
Okay.
No, there's a lot.
Or
And
11.
it's, yeah, it's the whole world's going nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, aside from everything else, but the money in college, that was always the part that they didn't have.
Yeah.
You know, like that set them apart from the pros.
Right.
Now it's
They're
like,
amateurs.
well, isn't everyone pros now?
Right.
And like, why even go to college? You know, like.
Now it's a money make. Now you can make money.
Now you can make money.
Right.
So you're getting an education and making money when there's other kids spending $100,000 and going into debt.
I also think that I always said this, that you should be able to major in your sport. If that's what you put on if you want to put all your eggs in that basket, that you're going to be a professional NBA player or hockey player, major in the sport, and yes, you'll get your ice time in playing, and then we're going to teach you how to do money, and then we're going to teach you how to invest, and then so they're not. What does a basket weaving degree matter?
That's such a good point. Because these guys are getting set up into the real world.
I'm majoring in
with nothing. Like, I just did this just to fucking pass.
And then a third liner maybe wants to get his education and major in law.
Right.
But if you want to put all your eggs in the basket, I majored in this. Let's see you fail and then try to get a job, and they go, "What'd you major in?"
Well, you learn. Well, you learn all the things that you wouldn't learn that you need for life.
Well, investing, taxes, money, how to deal with your money, how to
deal with everything.
Right, life.
That's interesting.
I've been saying that for years. It should be an option.
Major in your sport.
I mean, it is like a full-time job anyway. I mean, those kids, they take a small workload anyway. They take classes in the summertime or in their off.
I mean, and that's not beat around the bush. That's why they're there.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
They're not there to,
Yeah, they didn't choose.
There are kids who are very good at the sport and maybe want to be a lawyer, and that got them their degree.
That's why they chose there to play instead of over here. Right.
Interesting stuff. Yeah. You brought up a lot of interesting stuff.
Good sports guy right here.
Got a lot of stuff to think about.
No,
I like it. I
love it.
the
Playoffs and video and, I mean, the net.
I'm fixing the game.
Net.
No, you kept bringing up video games. You play the NHL? No.
Not in Sega.
No. What it is now, it's
too much
just
stuff.
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
It's
it's
not
too
as
many
good as it
buttons.
used to be. Yeah.
I actually tried during COVID. Nothing to do. I borrowed my nephew's PlayStation and tried to play, and it was it's too much.
All my buddies from Salty play, so like during COVID, I actually bought an Xbox off the marketplace down the street from somebody just to play online with my buddies. Yeah.
It was just I didn't get it. Like the shooting, like it was.
Yeah, it's hard. It took me
much.
It took me forever to figure it out.
But it's so cool, like realistic and.
it's wicked realistic.
That freaks me out, how realistic it is. I mean, I grew up with Atari. Nothing was realistic.
I mean, it's hilarious. So, like, when you play online, and like you play, say, the three of us are a team, right? And we're playing somebody else. We'd play with 2 computer players, and if you got a penalty, you physically sit in the box and you can't play. You just sit there, and you have views from the box. And I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, oh, I got a penalty. I thought I would just like be the next guy. I didn't think I was gonna have to sit for 2 minutes. So if you fight,
Seriously?
so if you fight, you sit for 5, and you can't get out of the box. So like, sometimes if you fight at the beginning of the period and you don't have a whistle, like you're just sitting there. You're like, what the hell am I doing? I'm like, this is stupid.
Are you serious?
But there's like a little glitch where you hit like some button and then you can get out during play. It's hilarious.
That was like my idea with Call of Duty. You know, they kept doing Call of Duty. Call of Duty Revolutionary War. You get 1 shot every 4 minutes. Gonna have to
Reload. Go
Can
get
you
more
imagine
ammo.
kids these days playing that game?
that'd be great.
My God. Right? Loading the cannon?
when we were in college, we were so bored and gambling and shit. We used to put on Madden on demo and not play.
Oh, and see who won.
Bet?
Oh, that's incredible. I love that.
That is the ultimate definition of degenerate.
Oh, yeah.
We had the NCAA. Like, we would skip class if your game was up. Like, you can't go to the next week until. So, like, if you had class or something and you're like, play your game. I'm like, I got to go to class. Oh, not today.
You forfeit. That's awesome.
It's above my head. And even the Call of
so
Duty,
good.
I tried to. There's stuff going on. It's,
It's too
I
much,
tried
yeah.
that way back, with, like the original. I think it was the original one.
Yeah.
And my daughter was videoing me. I didn't know at the time. Unfortunately, the computer it was on, she was doing it on her Mac. This was a long time ago, right? She was probably, I don't know. This is probably 15 years ago. And I didn't know. And I'm trying to fight, and I don't know anything. And I'm like, holy shit, there's fucking dogs. And then I'm like, I shot that guy in the ankle. I'm going nuts because I don't know what I'm doing, right? I don't even know how to use the buttons. I like all of a sudden I launched a rocket, and it was one of the funniest
Helicopter.
things. And I watched the video. I'm like, that's how stupid I am, huh? And she was like, yeah. And then I'd play that Halo.
Yeah.
And I'd
never
play
played that
against my son, and I'd get fucking annihilated. It would piss me off.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't know how to do the buttons.
I saw it's on ESPN right now. It popped up. It's like one of those E60s,
Oh, yeah.
and it was the Mike Legg goal.
The Mike Lego?
Michigan.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so it was out the Michigan, and they got to a part where I think it was Zegras. Somebody did it for the first time in the NHL.
I think it was Zegers.
Zegers, I think it was.
And it was like, they said it was crazy because it was like 20, 30 years later
Hmm.
that somebody actually attempted it. It happened, they showed it. It happened in like international play and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But he did it in the NHL. And they went to one of the EA Sports guys and they went, shit. And mid-season, they brought in somebody and put the green balls on them and replicated it and put it into the game on the fly.
Yeah.
That you could, and then they.
Yeah, they have it in the game now. Yeah, you can
there's
do
a
that in
certain
the
thing
game.
You can do, and now you can do the Michigan goal. And it was mid-season, they just uploaded it.
Upload it, yeah, and then you get
Crazy.
it. Then you get the update, and you got to sit there for 2 hours, 3 hours while your Xbox
Right,
updates. Like
downloads.
I just wanted to play. Like now I got to wait for a download so I can do the to Michigan.
like an attempt to do a move. I
You-
could
what do
never
you guys
on the
think of
ice.
that?
So
The Michigan?
Yeah.
I have no problem
It's
with it.
legal.
I know for now. The thing that bothers me is how easy it is to learn how to do it now.
Well, all the
I
kids
still
can
can't do it.
No,
All the kids
but
can
all the
do it.
young when I see a young kid do it in
They always
between a period at the Garden, and that was a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Maybe it like palming in basketball. Maybe
Yeah.
you come up with carrying.
Well,
I love it. It's great. It's I know it's talent to do it, but to a point of if it's become easy to do.
Well, I'm surprised we haven't seen, because was it Jackson, New Hampshire hockey, or some account I follow? The kid always holds it on a stick and does all kinds
Oh,
of
that
crazy
kid,
shit and
yeah,
throws it in.
yeah.
I'm surprised we haven't seen that in a game. Not obviously in the NHL, you get killed, but like one of these bantam or midget
high
games
sticker
or
was
high school,
getting-
right?
changed.
And do
it?
like almost like lacrosse, and then fired it. I'm surprised we haven't seen that happen. Because kids are like back in the day, my stick, I could never do it. Like I just didn't, the sticks back. No one did it. No one did it. And then
If you did, you'd get killed because like.
Well, by the time-
the
yeah.
Next thing you know, someone's killing me.
well, that's I personally I think if like someone does that, that's like playground stuff where that kid's getting bundled.
There's
know?
stuff that I think like, why hasn't it not happened yet? The Zegras goal this year with was it last year or this year? The flip over the net.
Yeah.
And he batted it in.
Yep.
Yeah.
How'd that take so long? We used to do that in street hockey.
Right.
You
All
get behind
the-
the net
all
and
the
flip.
time.
I know
Flip it
ball
over.
is easier, but we used to do that all the time.
Right.
Like, how about an ambidextrous winger. I mean, there's pitchers in baseball that have been able to pitch with both hands. How dynamic would it be to be like, oh, grab the other stick and play left wing?
Play with a straight stick.
Yeah, a straight stick, the same thing. A goalie wouldn't know what to do.
No, they wouldn't.
So
They
I was
would
in a
not
viral
know.
video for the reversal of that play.
Oh, okay.
The Michigan. Well, no, was it? So like, he was behind it, and the kid like kind of took the puck. Or was it? What am I? Yeah. So he was behind the net, and he faked like he was gonna do it, and the kid came and just took the puck and stuffed it around.
Awesome.
So the kid, so that they thought the kid had it here. And stuffed
But the
it.
kid
The kid
came
went to
around.
go hit, and the other kid took the puck and stuffed it.
Clever.
And I'm on the goal line. This was it was UNH Merrimack. I'm on the goal line hammering. I was like, that was unreal. I just saw the reverse. Like,
Did I
That's
hear right
wild.
that there's no curb rule anymore? Or is that wrong? There's no restriction on curb?
I
There
haven't-
still is.
yeah.
Still is.
But you know, it's funny. We talked about it. You can't even find a stick gauge now. I wouldn't even know where to get one.
Yeah.
And usually, like it used to be, every rink had them in the penalty
box, yeah.
And you had it in case there was a challenge.
Right.
This is how far back my dad went. He was playing. He played for South Boston. No, he played for Dorchester High back in the '60s.
Okay.
Right when the curve stick came out, and this kid came out on the ice, and he was like, "Look at that guy." They'd never seen it before.
Right.
So the kid hit a slap shot. I guess my father went down and looked up and just saw a line of blood. Like 4 feet out. So he went down, the puck hit him right at the top of the head.
Because he didn't wear a helmet.
He wore it to here.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
he had
just
the
had the
mask.
mask, nothing on top.
The
because-
Chivas.
So if he went down like this, thinking it was going to do something else, and it hit him in the top. He had a scar for the rest of his life. And they had to
That's
pull some
wild.
kid out of They only had one goalie. They had to pull some
right.
kid out of the crowd.
Get the Zamboni driver. Yeah.
But he said
back up.
that was new. That was science to us. We had never
Right.
seen it before.
That's
But yeah,
wild.
lifting the puck was not a thing
No. Yeah.
really at all, unless you were Bobby Orr.
Right.
You know, or someone, you know, that flicking it.
You were a dick if you did, right? If you
Well,
hit a
no
slap
mask.
shot.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like warming up and hitting the goalie in the head.
Oh.
Never like that.
It was like those unwritten rules in fighting. Like, yeah, same thing with players. Like, you always respect it. Like, the equipment now, people don't respect it because, like, the equipment will protect you, right?
Yeah. No one cares anymore.
Like, I always see like these tournaments we just had this past weekend. You get, 20 kids on a team, whatever, and you get 3 or 4 of them with visors on. It's like, why? Like, why are you the one with the visor? Like, what the hell are you wearing a visor for? Just put the cage on, because everybody else is going to be loose with their stick, and then they're going to get clipped and then bitch.
Well, and they wear them in the juniors.
Yeah.
And they go to college and you can't wear them.
Right.
Now, like we've talked, I think they should have it in college. I think college should go to half shields. But
I was going to ask that.
Yeah, I think
what are
they
we really?
should.
What are we really? They're going to do it anyway at a higher level with faster
that's
shots.
the thing.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the thing. Like, why not let them wear the visor in
I
college?
have to assume that playing with a cage your whole life and the first time you don't is pretty much a horrifying thing.
Yep.
It can be a little, it can kind of make you think.
Yeah, of
but
course.
you also carry a stick lower
Yep.
because you don't want to get clipped.
And it was
and
also-
you hit different because you don't want to hit you don't want to get hit in the face. So you're not, in college, every hit could be a penalty.
I don't like that
Almost
about
every hit.
baseball now. If I'm a righty batter, my whole left side is protected now.
You're right.
I can wear an elbow pad to here. I can wear a
Yep.
shin guard. I can wear, basically anything.
Right.
And it's taken out of the game because I'm not afraid to hang over.
Right.
And I think it's ruined the game a little bit as far as pitching. I'd be pissed if I was a pitcher.
Oh yeah,
I never really looked at it like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. It's
What,
changing the. It's
yeah, it is changing the dynamic. Yeah,
you
you
can hang right out. Yeah.
Right.
Now they got this piece, which is fine. You don't want somebody getting hit in the
Right,
face. but
right.
They're all pretty much.
like, can you imagine Pedro nowadays? Like, he would
Oh
paint you. Like,
Yep.
if you crowded that plate on him, he don't give a.
no, and you didn't want to get hit by his pitch.
No.
Absolutely not. Someone just got hit in the nose
Yeah, I hate it.
with a fastball. Did you see that? That was nasty.
I was at the game. Boychuk took one to the face, sitting.
Oh, yeah.
Sitting ice level from here to like not even the other side of the room, and it's a noise that I never want to hear again.
Yeah.
Sounded like a bat hitting a dead tree. It was
Awful. My brother fixed his face.
Oh,
My brother was
Oh,
the one
no
that fixed
kidding.
his teeth. Yeah, because he's the dentist. Crazy. So any equipment you want to change, or is,
goalie stuff. is-
no? You've come up with
brought a
you
lot
fixed
of
the game.
no, goalies.
You fixed it.
I don't know how you can fix goalies because the pads are still thin. It's the upper body, I guess.
Well, they're huge.
Yeah.
The pads are huge.
Yep.
You look at a goalie from even back in the 90s.
Okay, here's what I would change. The job is done for them now. If you drop to your knees, you're doing a spread eagle or whatever, butterfly.
Yep.
Butterfly.
It's tapered that way. Mm-hmm. It used to like Glenn Hall back in the day used to have to do splits to get his knees to do that.
Yeah.
Look at, like, I still have my Andy Moog poster, and my daughter has it hanging up in her room now. And the pads that he had, I was like, holy
Love seat cushions.
Yeah, they're like
right
barely over his knee,
Yep.
and it's like, holy
That
crap.
wide.
Yeah.
That wide.
Yep.
They're
It's
not
unreal.
like big at all.
No.
No. I love watching the old school when they didn't go down.
Yeah.
They were stand-up goalies.
Stand-up goalies.
And they were making saves with their feet. And, you know, there was like, it wasn't that you went down and covered 80% of the net. You know, you had to actually
Play your angle.
not that goalies these days aren't talented and have, you know, do all the things, but they're just so huge.
Right.
And the poke check disappeared.
Yep, that's
They don't do
pretty
that
much
anymore.
gone.
Yep.
And I think them going down, you see like that top corner short side, you know, that's anyone who's accurate, which is pretty much anyone in the NHL, can put the puck there. So because very few goalies are tall enough when they go down their knees, they're covering that top corner.
Right.
And they're all going down before the shot's coming. So
Yeah, they get hit with the puck now. Nobody really makes a save.
yeah.
Unless they're,
I say
playing
go
over.
down last minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait till the last
That's
second.
what, that's what I tell my daughter. I know nothing about goaltending, but that's what I tell her.
I don't know.
Because she's tiny.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I'm like, just take up that net. I was like, because they want to shoot high on you. And then if you don't give it to them, you might have the advantage.
They're crazy people.
Yes.
Well, this has been awesome.
Yeah,
Murph, this has been
it's been great. It was great.
Yeah,
We
this
could,
has
I
been
mean,
great.
we could keep going on and on. These things get longer and longer.
We'll have to have them on a live Chirping Zebras.
Yeah, we're definitely
We'd
gonna
have to have them on the
live.
playlist.
Yeah.
We might have to do one on a cruise ship. We'll go do.
I'll do it. I'll do a live podcast on a cruise
podcast
ship.
on a
Bring
cruise
back.
ship.
We'll do it with Biden at the Christmas party this year.
Yeah, we definitely. you have to
Grandpa's
come
coming back.
Yeah, you're coming back for Biden. We're gonna have you back this year for the Christmas party at the at
Absolutely.
Midway. Absolutely. Well, Murph, been awesome.
Awesome. Thank you.
Love
Yes,
having
thank
you
you.
on
This
land
was great.
when you're around, and keep sending me. I didn't even bring it up. I thought of it now that you design the hats.
Yeah.
You design hats. He sends me pictures of hats that he
Oh,
designs.
really?
Yeah, and they're really cool. And
I'm into
keep
the
doing
arts.
that.
Nice. There you
Crafts.
go. Very good.
You're a phenomenal
Yeah, I
drawer
used to
too. You
draw a
can
lot.
sketch and stuff. So you just
That was my dream job. Honestly, was to be a goalie mask designer.
Really?
I swear to God, I wanted to learn the airbrush because I'm fascinated when a goalie has a sense of humor and comes out with a good mask, and it pisses me off when a goalie has a stupidly dumb.
Want to try it? My daughter's is white.
Oh.
We can design something.
At the NHL level, to see like just the team logo here, team logo,
Yeah,
there,
right.
have a sense of humor.
Right.
There was a goalie for the Canadians. They called him Ned Flanders, so he put Ned Flanders on his.
That's
stuff
awesome.
like that's awesome.
Right.
Yeah, and like Belfour was the first to do one of the first with the eagle.
yeah.
You know, make it yours.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hate when they see it plain.
All right. Well then,
I
there you
hated
go.
Swayman's mask. I'll just put it that way.
Well,
Swayman,
if the cruise ship stuff dries up, you can start
go back to art
painting
school.
masks.
Yeah. It's big money.
Speaking of
Huge
Swayman, have
money.
they signed him yet?
No. I don't think
What
so.
the hell are they waiting for?
Swayman.
Swayman.
Oh, I
They don't have a play-by-play guy yet, right?
No. That's another one.
Yeah.
maybe we could have the zebras in the booth.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
You
Right.
The Zebras in Brickley.
Yeah, Brick. We gotta have Brick on.
Yeah, they like chirping the refs, so
They
let's
love
do
it. Yeah. You, Jack Edwards, you thumbs up, thumbs down.
I'm happy he had a good career. Happy he
All
had
right.
a good career.
All right.
There we go. We'll end on
Well,
that.
end on that.
Yes.
All right, cool. Well, thanks, Greg.
Thank you.
for
Thank
you.
coming. Murph, as always, a lot of fun. That's going to wrap up episode 24 for Chirping Zebras. We want to thank our sponsor, the Referees Crease, for all your refereeing needs. Also want to thank our beautiful studio here, AOA Studios, and all the producers that do such a great job. Find us on the social medias, the Facebook, the Instagram, the TikTok. We were live tonight on the TikTok for a while. And also like and subscribe on YouTube. Need those subscriptions up. We're slowly creeping up.
Yep, we're
and,
getting there.
We need a couple more viral videos. So, but we'll see you next time right here on Chirping Zebras.